chat, man. Why y'all acting like that, man? Meet somebody. Man, y'all stay out of trouble, man. Y'all be safe out there. Let's have some fun. What's cracking? It's D-Nell, a.k.a. Trip. I just want to say, checking in, checking out, I'm out. Welcome to the Tribulation Kids Network. I'm your host, D-Nell. We are right now in Las Vegas. Welcome to Las Vegas. Yo, what's cracking? It's D-Nell, a.k.a. Trip. Tribulation Kids is in the building. Roll call. I need everybody to check in with the hammer and the honey. Thank you guys for coming out. You guys be safe out there. Y'all stay encouraged, and God bless you. Yo. Can y'all hear me? I am in the house and I'm checking in, and I need to check a couple of things before I get started. So can y'all hear the laugh button? It might be a little too loud. I don't know. But I was just curious to know if you can hear that. And then I want to also apologize to the people, man. Oh man, damn. Yesterday people was confused. They was trying to understand, was I live or what did I have going on? It was an experiment. It was an experiment, and what I was trying to do was basically test a couple things, and I'm gonna explain that on the way. But before I check in, I want to thank y'all. Shout out to DMG, shout out to William. I appreciate you checking in with the hammer and the 100. Shout out to Kahana with the 5 stars, and sharing just the old song, the novel. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, Kahana. Ari and Elo's vlog. I got something to say to her. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you, and just because I truly remember you used to check in and you used to watch my content, you know what I mean, and watch me as a content creator. But yesterday I seen you live and I had a chance to just kind of, go to your channel, and something that just I learned out here on YouTube, like when they're hosting, like people have their other channels, they have their videos, they have stuff that they have, and they come in there and share, and it's stuff that they do out here, that is just, it's just the love to help content creators, small content creators, and what I'm trying to say is this. I said hello yesterday. I remember you, and that's all I put on the message. And when she read it, it was just like she was happy that I remembered her, you know what I mean? And then it just made me feel good because I felt that, and then she said thank you, and then when I did my silent live stream last night, she actually came back by and she stayed there. And then like even if she wasn't there, like, you know what I mean, like she had a support gadget. I'll just say she had a support gadget that can actually help me, and it was just her being in the house, you know what I mean? Because The silent live stream actually worked for me. I wanted to explain that too. But what I wanted to do, I just wanted to make sure that I really just appreciate her, you know what I mean? Because, um, she came back, after that, you know what I mean? But it was just that, you know, um, I remember her, I truly remember her, being in my chat. Shout out to Mr. Fisher, and Kahana. I want to apologize to y'all because y'all checked in on my silent live stream, but I told y'all on the last video I was gonna go do a silent live stream. So I was trying to figure out how to do it. I was getting ideas on the last live stream, of, maybe I should do some videos, and I'm just gonna put it in my pocket. I'm just gonna put one tag up there. Well, um, I want to apologize to the people that watched the video, and it would be people like Kahana, Mr. Fishing. Shout out to Ryan. I didn't even know Ryan was in Trinidad, Mr. Fishing. That was crazy to me. And then nobody told me if my sounds is working, if they can hear me or anything. I could be out here just having a long conversation. And nobody said nothing since they checked in. But that's okay. So what I'm gonna say is this. I played the video part of the silent live stream like that for a reason. Like I was feeling like that can draw people. You know what I mean? I didn't think about what if people come over and they stay, or what if people think it's just like a video of me doing like an intro or something to get started. You know what I mean? And then it just keep on looping. I'm one of them people. Like I truly don't like loops. You know what I mean? But I felt like I didn't want to just have a silent, but then I wanted it to be silent sometime during the night. You know what I mean? So I do apologize to the people because I was actually washing my hands after using the bathroom. I ain't gonna let you know if it was number one, or number two, but I was washing my hands and I was thinking to myself, like, yo, I don't want to be rich to people or try to seem like I'm trying to program the people. And that to me, made me just like, okay, let me go ahead and take the loop off, you know what I mean, and just let it be silent from here. But I let it be silent from there, probably within the first hour, you know what I mean, and it was good because at that time, Ryan actually said, like he was trying to figure out like what is going on, and I didn't want to do that to nobody, especially with an AI talking too. I try to branch it out that the AI ain't doing that much talking. You know what I mean? It was an experiment. Shout out to Bird. I appreciate you, Bird, and you check it back in. Bird was at my silent live stream, and he was one on the last live stream that said that he don't like the live stream. I mean, the silent live streams, you know what I mean? But he did come spend some time with me. We had a chance to really talk, share some things, and I think I'm going to get in a little bit into that conversation on this live stream. Like this live stream will probably be a little longer just because I ain't going to have opportunity to get one later, you know what I mean? But I wanted to get out here early today just in case I wanted to get out here a little later and do another one. I'm telling you, boy, I'm on the move. Look, Bird said I'm going hard. That's what he said. If he come back, he said he going hard. Bird, I'm thinking. Anyway, so let me keep going. So it was something else I wanted to talk about. I wanted to say, shout out to I want to say his name is Cash Stash. I met him over that BDB channel yesterday. Like I happened to be in the streets and I seen BDB live. And I went over there and I didn't really stay long because I wasn't really, I mean, I've been moving. So anyway, shout out to Cash Stash, you know what I mean? Like he linked to me, you know what I mean? He's I'm check you out from BDB, and I'm like, all right. Anytime somebody come from over there, like it's good positive energy. Like he really does attract like good energy of people, you know what I mean? And creative and talented people. And he actually hit me up on the comments, and I had a chance to check in to see one of his videos. Like he got a series of what he's doing. And I will say the one video, as soon as I started watching it, I was stuck, you know what I mean? And then like, just from the title and what he was talking about, just being an introvert. You know what I mean? Like I'm an introvert, but I never consider myself to be an introvert. You know what I mean? And I was telling Bird last night in the chat, like it was something I was already thinking about because I was watching that video, you know what I mean? And I started to think, him and I are so similar. His production is good though. Like I'm talking about, man, I liked it. And I was like, oh snap, that's nice. But the fact of the matter is what his conversation was, you know what I mean? Like it was just like we so like you'll find certain content creators like that you can draw to, you know what I mean? And I think that was what it was for me. Like I felt that, and then I started to think like, when have I ever like really felt like an introvert, right? And then I started thinking, well, I think it had to be like when I gave my life to Christ, when I first got saved, when I first really truly believed in Jesus Christ. Um, God started to separate me from people, you know what I mean? And it started to consecrate me and form an identity for me. And um I started to see a different part of me, you know what I mean, that separated me from people, you know what I mean, people in the world. And it started having me just thinking deep, and I started to think again, like, well, when is another time that you could actually call yourself an introvert? But I was like, well, is it now? Because what it was his title was, does it take away from your creativity? You know what I mean? Or does it make you more creative? You know what I mean? And I think about like I really thought about that. Like, yo, like I remember like I was telling Bird, like my first back surgery, you know what I mean? Like 2006. You know what I mean? Like I ain't worked since 2006. That's why I always tell the Lord. And I tell the people, you know what I'm saying, or anybody else, like God has been good to me. Like, yo, it's been almost so many years. I ain't you know what I'm saying? It's some other stuff I get into, but I want to keep what I'm saying. So I was thinking, how's anybody, and I don't want to ask the question. I don't want to ask the question. I want to say it like this. There was a point in my life where I went through a point of depression. You know what I mean? And um there was a point where I felt like y- I don't know. I guess I felt like I was different than people, you know what I mean? Because people didn't have that condition, you know what I mean? Like with the back surgery and stuff, like I had to face reality to deal with. This is a chance that you'll never be able to do this again. You'll never be able to do that again. Growing up, I was like an athletic dude. You know what I mean? I got a chance to do a lot of sports and, you know what I mean, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That I was thinking, well, I ain't going to be able to do these type of things. Um, there was a point where I started to go into a deep depression. Not a deep depression, but I went into a depression where I separated myself. But I was already separating myself because of the where God had me. You know what I mean? I was walking this journey. So I want to say that there was a creative time at that period with depression where I started to just write, and I just was just write, and I never stopped writing because I found an escape in that. Like it was giving me a place to go. It was a refuge in that, right? So I would write, and because I was healing from my back surgery, it forced me to sit down and just write and just write and just write. Um, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna get into that. Make sure you bring that back up. Let me get where I'm going. Y'all ain't telling me, man. Is my sound effects working? So anyway, so I wanted to say that because the introvert, like it 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 forced me into a shell and into a bubble, but there was depression that was added with it. And then after I started to create in that space, I started to feel like I was releasing myself. Like there was something that I was holding inside that I couldn't tell people. And it was my message or whatever it is that God has placed in my heart or whatever it is that I'm passionate about or trying to find people. That was my thing. I ain't doing my calling. Like that was my thing. Like I ain't doing what God is calling me to do. Like I'm slacking. So where I would take it from with that, because I'm filming this in front of a live audience. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was because I really am in the mood to laugh, but I'm thinking about something that I wanted to just say what his content did for me as a social media influencer. You know what I mean? To how you think. Are you an introvert? Are you somebody that separates themselves? And see, I was one that throughout life I isolated myself. Like I'm just one that likes my own space. My don't like to be bothered a lot, and I feel bad for people that's close to me because sometimes it draws me away. You know what I'm saying? Where I can't have conversations, or I'm thinking about something, or I'm busy with something, and it's something I'm just reaching for. I'm passionate about something, I'm so ambitious about something that stuff stands in the way of that energy that I'm pulling from and I'm gaining it. And I was just saying that because you know I got something out of that conversation. I mean, just what I was thinking in my and I wanted to just kind of put that together. Now I want to move on from there just in case, but I'm thinking, is there more to it that I wanted to add? But that's what I was thinking when I seen that, you know what I mean? But shout out to Aura and Elo's vlog. I don't know if I say that right, but I appreciate you. I truly do. And you coming back and just being in the background. Shout out to Teresa. She was up there. Shout out to people I seen when I stopped the live stream. I stopped it and seen Brad Amy. I seen Ecom, shout out to Ecom, you know what I mean? And I just mentioned you, you know what I mean? Hopefully you are good. Tell me Tom I said what's up. Tell Mice Life I said what's up. I think I landed in Mice Life live stream. I'm not sure for sure, but I think she changed the name. And I sitting up here saying to myself, like, it does, and then it doesn't, then I don't know, it do, and then it's like, I think that's her for some reason, right? So I'll go to just say something in the background, of her video. And I had a chance to actually I don't know if it's her. I had a mod, so I figured like, yo, I know you. I've been here before. It felt like I've been there before. Shout out to my BFF coming in the door, L Yang Vlog. I appreciate you. Shout out to my man Rick One Ball as well. And the reason why I say that, man, L Yang, I appreciate you, because I think I was talking about you yesterday or with my last live stream. You know what I mean? Like she was one of them people, you know what I mean, regardless of what anybody thought, regardless of what, family, community, her friends, like, you know what I mean? If didn't even nobody else support me, like El Yang, she shared me, she supported me, she didn't care what nobody else thought, you know what I mean? And she was always good people. And I was very happy to see you today on your live stream, So shout out to you and welcome to this live stream. Thanks, host, for checking on me. My stream, I appreciate. I feel like we share something out here. Just what I mean, something you've been through in life. You know what I mean, that will make you stronger. In the end, But you chose to come over here and chill. When you was going through that. And I just had a chance to kind of get to know you, and I appreciate you just checking in. You good people, you good to have in the chat, So thank you, because when I see you, it's just, you've always treated me like family. You've been very kind to me, so thank you. Bird, I appreciate you being back in the house, man. Shout out to Rick One Bar. Let's see. Hey, Bird. Hope you're doing well too. Yeah. So yeah, man. But I had a chance to talk to Rick too. Yes, I talked to Rick yesterday. Yo, it's funny though, because me and Rick be talking about some business, boy. We be talking about some big things, But it's just sharing that passion, And I know Rick is passionate about people. He's passionate about his content. His content is his art. He's just a good character, and he was mentoring me. We got 9 people now. Look, we might build up. We might get up there. I'm telling you, man. I look, they see me back in these streets, boy. Look, I was like, I'm gonna run this joint like a network. Rick, did I tell y'all gonna do it? I said if I get some time, Rick. Look, I said if I get some time, look, I'm gonna try some. So I want to get into that stuff of what I tried, just because Rick is here, and I feel like, you know what I mean, we can kind of check this out together. Check this out. So the question was on my silent live stream, do I just let it be silent or do I run a video with it? Do some music, you know what I mean? However, you know what I mean, where I could run it without being live. And I'm gonna let people know I really truly enjoy the silent live stream. I do. It get people a place to go. You can kind of chill, give me a chance to put my feet up. If I got time, I could be in the chat. I can get into all of that. You know what I mean? But people will stop by. But I was noticing, Rick, look, I think my channel a little broken. I think I need to be live 24 hours a day for a little while. Just because, like, look, we gotta scramble the numbers, man. I was noticing probably about 2 hours in, you know what I mean, I was able to check and see, you know what I mean, that it was only like 53 views. And I was thinking if I end at 2 hours, this usually about 53 views. So I was thinking, Rick and Bird, just because Bird, man, I appreciate you, man. Like, look, y'all, yeah, boy, y'all be making me smile, boy. That's why I say I gotta come live, just in case. I said, yeah, I'm good, young. Yeah, Amigo, yeah, you still got the Amigo tag. Ah, look, I remember that. Yeah. Bird had his own little, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I really do feel like laughing. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I mean. But I feel like I got some information to share. You know what I mean? When the silent live stream went like Ryan came through. Look, y'all remember Ryan? Look, shout out to you, L Yang Vlog. I appreciate you. She went got her other channel. That's who I was talking to earlier. Her other channel. Look. That's her main channel right there too. That's a big one. She got a big joint. Look, so yo, shout out to Lady Me. I just want to make sure I say that before I move on because I don't want to forget that, you know. And let me just get into that real quick. Shout out to you, Lady Me. And I know that wasn't the first time you came by just to say what's up. You know what I mean? I appreciate you. And you checked in last night on the Silent Live and you came back. You know, but I appreciate you because you usually come as a group, you know what I mean? But you actually know me and that you come on your own and you started to feel comfortable coming on your own. I want to tell you, you know, thank you very much. Like that made me feel good when I seen you on your own. So um let's see. Valentino. Look, Valentino official. Man, you changed your name so much. You know, I don't even know how to say the rest of that. Like I don't even know English. You know what I mean? Like you gotta put the letters, you know what I mean? It's regular words. I'm just letting you know. Let's see. Vagos Focus Forever Homes. Southwood. You look, they come up here and Bird know all they little area where they living and all the rest of that. Like Bird serious about going back out there, boy. 9 people in the house. We need one more for 10. I'm telling you, man, like I'm trying to get back out there, boy. Like it's just that type of feeling for me. Like I'm loving the energy, I'm loving the vibe, I'm loving the people. I've been getting a chance to come out here in the city and hang out a little bit. You know, the vibe is just right. You know, I told myself last night, you know, during the silent live stream, man, I'm finna do me a live stream, you know, and I actually almost stopped the silent live stream just to do a live stream when I started seeing people checking in and stuff like that. Like when I first did it and had the video playing, I'm talking about the first 10, I'm talking about the first 5 minutes. Yo, I'm talking about people was coming through. I'm talking about the number was going up, you know what I mean? And then people was there, it was kind of steady, but then they started leaving or whatnot. But it was an experiment and an experience for me because I feel like I'm gonna start doing the silent live streams at night, you know, as much as I can, you know. And even after I get monetized, I think I still want to keep the silent, you know what I mean? Shout out to my man Thor Hero coming in the door. Shout out to J Dog. One Party Re is in the house again. Shout out to him. What up, AB? Yeah, man. So I figured I'd come in and check in. This is usually my hours is during the week. You know what I mean? I worked the extra day this week. But I ain't been able to get no time out just because, like I told you, I need about 30 more videos. I'll be out there getting it. Today I figured I'm just gonna go ahead and stay live just as long as I can. Just because, man, that stay up there like that. Boy, look here, we're gonna be out here for 5 hours. Shout out to my man coming in the door with the love and respect from Oz Art. Appreciate you, man. Man, look, man, the chat is building up, man. Y'all feel free to share your content and stuff. And look. I did the silent live stream. AB, look, did you see it? Look, some of y'all, I'm like, some of y'all probably checked in to checked out, or even if you didn't, it's cool. The only reason why I'm saying is I had a chance to get out there and test it, you know what I mean? And 10 people was announced. Thank y'all. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Appreciate it. Double digits up in the house. Big W's in the chat. How they do it? How they do it? Thor Hero, AB. Big W's in the chat for all my people that's in the house. J Dog, man, I'm loving how you moving, man. Pause. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because, you know what I mean, if you got a little second or something, you know what I mean, get to know some of these people, let the people get to know you, man. Like, yo, he been in that audience and had a seat. Just first 25 people, man. Look, big W's in the chat. We're starting to move, you know what I mean? And I felt like, okay, I'm gonna start doing the later live streams because some of the friends that I don't get to see because they retired, like they sometimes stop by to the live stream. And if I continue to do the silent live stream, like they'll come through, especially if they know that we there. Like me and Bird sit up there and kicked it. Now that I know what time Bird getting our work, man, look, we ain't hit the fast second that shot. We hit the last second. The last, yeah. Yesterday. Yeah. Man, I was trying to get your attention, man, but I don't be liking to flood your chat. And then just another thing I need to tell people, because I truly, honestly feel like this. It's hard for me to come and support people because I'm not trying to support myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to come there and share my channel. I ain't trying to come in there and politic and build with other people. Like, it's just like when I go to certain people's channels that host out here, you know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't move in a chat like that, it's just the principle and the rules of how people operate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you share me out, your channel want to come by somebody from your channel, you know what I mean? But I ain't getting ready to go over there and speak to your people and try to pull your people to come with me. You know what I mean? I ain't never been like that. People starting to pop up. It's beginning, man. I just appreciate you being in the house, man, because you see how we used to get out here and get it. Shout out to you. Shout out to FML Films. Your boy, I think it's FNL. I'm gonna mess it up. Your boy was out here yesterday, you know what I mean? And I actually stopped by, and I was in the background, but I did say something in the chat just to say something. But he was focused on what he was doing, but he spoke about something. And I was like, yeah, that brought back my memory of something I got stuck on the live stream the other day. Like, yeah, they was talking about in the NBA, with the gambling and stuff, you know what I mean? But shout out to FMF Films. I want to say there's an L up in there. You know what I mean? But shout out, I appreciate it. And I did get a chance to kind of just roam these streets a little bit, and I seen some old friends. I seen some I got a couple new friends, but I don't FMF Films. Where do you see the L? Man, what was I saying? Was I saying FMF? Yo, see, that's why that was another thing I was afraid to start doing live streams. Like, look, this is one take, like no edit, and I gotta try to say it without stuttering, you know what I mean? And me, like I stutter, if you don't know, I stutter. And seeing names and reading names and reading I be looking at myself on some of the stuff I be out there reading. I be cracking it. I be dead weak. 9 people in the house and it's steady, man. I appreciate y'all. Like y'all don't even know, man. Y'all making me work. You know, you making me want to be here. You know, even when my background ain't saying nothing. I appreciate y'all being in the house. You know, I like to see my chat move. I like to see people talking. I like to, you know what I mean? That's a part of my content, you know, to see people laugh or see people smile or drop scripture or drop their channel or I done gotten used to that. Shout out to my man Big Dean with talk coming in the door. Shout out to my man Storm Reigns, man. Appreciate you checking in. Look, here keep me going. What you up to, man? Man, I've been trying, you know what I mean, to jump out here to get it started like a network, to get it moving, get it popping, and try to you know what I mean, do better than I was doing, you know, and it's the people. It's definitely the people. I need my other controller. Damn. If y'all could connect to FMF Films, shout out to him. Man, Bird, did you get some rest, man? I went to sleep shortly after you did. But I did enjoy just the silent live stream. I'm gonna let people know, like you probably gonna see me doing those a little more often. Um, just because like there's something about that, just staying live on the air. You know what I mean? Like that's a part of my building process. You know, just being able to keep my network going, and I meet people like that. You know, and some of the people like there's people out there just don't know that I'm not live. You know what I mean? And then it's like certain people I have to come back to. You know what I mean? To show them who I am, or how I am, or how I was. You know, remind them. You know, I'm still here. I got some rest. Good. Look, what you got going, bro? Blowing, seeing what's prop. Man, look, man, these streets. I'm trying to get this young buzzing. I ain't gonna lie. We gonna get it. Shout out to Adam Garcia popping in, checking in, check it out. We'll check in. Shout out to Valentino. I want to make sure I say something to him. Yo, it's crazy, man. I'm getting all the fellas to check in. You know what I mean? Like that. That's been cool to me. You know, and it's been my consistent people's like, yo, this y'all community. You know, if you ever see me live, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes I just get to talking and I don't look at the chat. Just so I can remember what I'm saying. Like work the chat, man. Like network, you know what I mean? Like politics, get to know the people, get to know people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, however way you connect. If you want to go to their channel, check it out. If they want to come to your channel, check it out. Um, y'all know it. You know, I'm just saying, you know, it's easier for me to do it like that. You know what I mean? Like it then I don't really feel like I ain't supporting people. But I would say, you know, on my silent live stream, when people do that, it shows me something, man. Like it shows me that people can come up in there and share their content. Like shout out to Lil Ryan. Like man, he felt like he had to be a security guard last night. Like, nah, man, it ain't like that out here. You know, just you know, I want you to troll the people, you know. But you know, I didn't kind of watch the dude grow up, you know, out here, like in the last 3 years, that he's taken to me, you know, 3 years ago. You know, how do I push the little fella away? You know, even though he did some wicked stuff, like he did some wicked stuff. I didn't like what he did. He know I ain't like it. But that's why he stayed away, but he's still been in the background, you know, and then having that conversation yesterday with him, you know, like I found out he in Trinidad. Like we out here in Trinidad right now. Boy, like look, Ryan got us out there. Man, look, y'all in them other countries, man. I need y'all to just share it, man. Like y'all don't understand. Like when you share it on your platform, not only does it make my platform bigger and expand that I'm able to be shared outside or wherever, but when you're outside other countries, like y'all give us an opportunity to be heard in your country. You know what I mean? I need to find a way to start using my community, you know, to build something in my community, to keep people just you know encouraged, keep them engaged, you know, to share content creators and all the rest of that. Like I'm telling you, man, like, I'm ready to open my platform all the way up to to be higher than moderators where people can get into management and doing things like, you know what I'm saying, get your own department, to come in and get your idea, get started and get to moving on something. Um, man, God has blessed us, with spiritual gifts in heavenly places. Not only has he blessed us, you know what I mean, he's given us each of us a talent, you know what I mean? If there's something one of us can do that the other one can't do, you know what I mean, then one can step in that know how to do it. We can all get somewhere and go somewhere. But that's what my network gonna do is gonna help everybody, hopefully. So I want to stay live as I can. It take me back to like old movies I used to watch, like Crush Groove, like people out here already think I'm Russell Simmons out here. But how can I have a virtual radio station or a virtual um, um, platform where I'm actually able to? My lighting looks a little bad, but we'll see if we can fix it. But this is all online, and I come across some amazing people. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing your content, getting people to come check it out. Let's say I'm gonna risk my life just to get views. Trip. The thing about it, I believe you. I'm just keeping it real. I seriously don't doubt it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Richard Simmons? No, man, Russell Simmons. I ain't nothing like Russ neither. You know what I mean? Like the both of them is questionable. But what I was saying, like, if you ever seen the movie Crush Groove, and speaking of movies too, because that's how I was gonna actually start. But the live stream, like, I ain't never got nothing to just like talk about or write down and just my notes and stuff, like none of that stuff. Like, we can read from the description and take it from there, or if somebody comes with a scripture or something like that's different. But when I say Russell Simmons, when I was growing up, there was a movie called Crush Groove, and to see what Russell did to get Def Jam, started, and some of the stuff he had to go through. Um, it was one of my favorite movies growing up. And then I was thinking to myself before I started this live stream, like, how am I gonna do this? Like, y'all don't know how hard it is. Like, to just sit there to do 3-hour live stream, the last live stream I just did. Do you know I sat and watched all 3 hours of it just to see my production and how I went out there and acted? That's how it is for me. But to sit there, and just talk, be yourself and try to, hang in there. Like, I'm telling you, this it's not easy. But I was thinking about that movie, Crush Groove, and then I also thought, how am I gonna do this today? that was my mentality. Like, how am I gonna do this in general? And the energy that I draw from, or something that I seen in my life that I used to watch a lot. I used to compare it to the live stream and the people in the community and stuff like that. And the character I used to feel like I used to have to play. You know what I mean? Like, this is an animation. So the character I feel like I used to have to play was Richard Pryor. Like, so serious. If you ever seen the movie The Toy, that used to be my favorite movie growing up. And to see how he treated people, how people treated him. He dealt with prejudice. You know what I mean? Like, I've dealt with prejudice my whole life. Like, that's something that you wouldn't know the scars of that if you never lived through it. Like, the shoes of somebody that's been through that or that goes through that. Like, I'm here to let you know. I'd have been called everything but a man of God. You know what I mean? But I think about The Toy with Richard Pryor. If y'all ain't never seen it, I believe you could probably look it up on YouTube. It's a good movie, you know what I mean? For people like overseas, as like, I don't know what you're into as far as like actors or as far as movies, entertainers, and music, that comes from the United States. But that was a movie that was like, I used to watch it like in the 80s. And it was fun to me at that age, but I see the personality that he had with people, and what he went through in that movie, and how Master Banks, that's Master Banks, how that I used to watch how he used to feel about uh I don't know his name in that movie, but I would say how he felt about Richard Pryor. So for me, throughout life, I've learned through the movies, I've learned through television, I've learned through videos, like that's where our fashion came from. Like you see a rap video or a hip hop video. I even with gangster rap, like, you know what I mean? You would see how they would dress, you know what I mean? Like that's what started the trends, and it make people to go buy stuff, like you seen Dwayne Wade, like he was the one wearing the Michael Jordan shoes, or just when Method Man was in the video with Mary J. Blige, and he had on the Tommy Hilfiger jacket. I'm just saying, what starts trends? What's the fashion? Like we see that type of stuff on the television, and I've learned a lot of stuff through the television or on the radio, just listening, to what entertains me, and stuff really these days don't really entertain me like those things do. But those things that did entertain us are classic things, and I guess I'm looking for something new, but I don't think that it can outdo the stuff that we have seen in the O. So I just want to say that, and don't mean nothing by it, but I just thought that that was just something that's been on my mind a little bit, and since you guys are probably bored with listening, talking to me, like I was thinking, maybe that we could switch it up a little bit. Some of y'all probably got things to do. Some of y'all probably in the middle of doing something right now. But I appreciate you guys being here. This is something I have to do. Like I gotta do this. And I actually had a chance to go to Isa channel. I'm looking for something. I really I was trying not to look like this, but I do. Oh, that's a good idea. Damn. So anyway, I did go to Isa channel yesterday, and it's crazy because I haven't been there in a while, but to see her, I'm so proud of her, just as a content creator, and me have knowing her, and I would actually say that Isa, man, it does look like we are losing our voice out there in Hong Kong. I just will say that, what I mean? We got a couple more people that are still gonna be there, what I mean? But it seemed like everybody leaving Hong Kong, going back to the Philippines. Seems like there's a lot of people just moving around. A lot of people are getting engaged and moving on with their families, and some are going back to their families, and it's a lot of different things that I'm learning, and I just want to say congratulations to Anna Lira, what I mean? Like, I have to talk about everything, and she doing, but anyway, I just wanted to say, I got a chance to get out here and actually come across some people, but I did get a chance to stop over there to check out Isaac, and we was out there hanging out and talking, and she's always been one to just have a great conversation, and so I want to just say, man, I really appreciated that. But I need a quick second. Please give me a second, right quick. I'll be right back. Yo, sometime I'm just going through something in life and I just need to be alone. So, let me keep to myself. My intervention. My intervention. My intervention. My intervention. My intervention. My intervention.
My intervention is a process of my intuition. Took a break, took a small intermission. Tryna fix my diction. I'm on assignment, tryna stick to the mission. It takes a lot for me to gain provision. I'm swerving from a head-on collision. Tryna bite my tongue so I don't give my opinion. Lifestyles of my untold convictions. Living with an ongoing infliction, paid by commission. Tryna earn my salary, but am I worth the revenue? If I create something valuable, would they try to buy my soul as collateral? I just be myself, let it come natural. I'm not tryna sound religious or political. Not tryna sound cliche, so typical. I'm tryna stick to my principles, that's biblical. I'm waiting on a spiritual miracle. My intervention. 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 I'm under construction, it's a process, it won't happen overnight. Looking at the future seems so bright. Can't put myself down, I gotta lift myself upright. My motivation is my determination. Now I'm letting out the frustration from all the years of waiting patient. Now every word I speak is a statement to get rotation of my daily illustration. Write it down, open up my imagination. Try to create something fascinating. Never before seen, never thought of. Spreading one love across my country, across the universe. From my verse, so what's worse? For me to take a L, it's double L when you spell Denell. Still living through my mental hell. And if all else fails, call it in the air. Heads or tails, will I succeed or will I fail? My intervention. 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 My intervention.
Okay, I'm in the house. Now I can get into the chat. I seen that the chat ain't moving. But Kahana has said, we said don't forget Beach Street. That's what Storm Rain has said. Don't forget Beach Street. Beach Street was something that taught us how to dance. You know what I mean? Like it was stuff that just really taught us over time. You know, and that's where we got our flavor from. That's where we got everything from. But let me see what Kahana said. There are two movies I'm waiting on. Apocalypto and Resurrection, both produced by Mel Gibson. Anytime you say that guy's name, it seemed like we talking conspiracy. Like I don't know what to think about Mel Gibson, to be honest with you, only because man, look, I ain't trying to talk about nobody, man. I'm gonna leave it alone. But he did The Passion of Christ, you know, and I know there was controversy at the time, and I just am a conspiracy theorist out here. Like I do believe certain conspiracies that I even hear from other YouTubers. And when his name is mentioned with some of the other people that is mentioned in the group that they talking about, his name be coming up. And I've been hearing him as a content creator outside making movies. He been saying some things and he been loose. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hearing that he loose, like he like when them houses burnt down in the Hollywood Hills and stuff, you know, like I don't know. But Kahana has said something else earlier. I said, yo, when you get back, let's talk about that. But he already forgot, I'm sure. So I'm gonna try to go back just to see if I can get him there. But I doubt that I will, and I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to try to go back. Y'all was talking to there was a lot of y'all in here talking at one time. Let's see, what the F is wrong with New York City? They want to elect a terrorist as mayor. Wow, NYC, y'all gonna suffer bad. Um, Shout out to NYC, and I will say it seemed like they already are kind of going through some things, and I say that because man. First of all, when them immigrants was going out there and they needed a place to stay, they was taking over stores and people's apartments, and that ain't even funny. But that's real talk. Like NY been kind of going through some stuff, and they strong. Like they community strong. Like NY is a different type of breed of people. You know what I mean? Like it's like when you a New Yorker, you ain't like everybody else. Like they some strong people. Um, they've been through some generations of just some stuff, especially like when Mayor Giuliani used to be the mayor out there. Boy, they used to get on record and just talk about it. That's how I even know Giuliani. Like I used to hear about him in the record all the time, and Bill O'Reilly. That's what I was thinking one day. I was like, what is his name? You know what I mean? But I couldn't think of it. It took me that long to think about it. You know what I mean? And the only reason why, I don't even know why I even thought of that, but Cameron, he was on this show. We felt like that joke funny. It was something else I was laughing at earlier. Like if y'all ever get a chance, look up Chameleonaire, and what Jordan said to him, when he tried to get a picture with him. Like you want to hear something funny? Check that one out. I'm trying to see how can I work this because I feel like it's like it's not working for me. I'm particular about certain things when it comes to this live stream, man, and I can't seem to get it together. And see, this is gonna be a problem for me in the future. Is trying to get going and when there's nobody there, but kind of getting out here to different channels and stuff, over the last couple of days. Like I could tell you that these streets ain't no good is what I can tell you. Salute to all in the chat. Hey, I appreciate you still being here or coming back, AB. Man, I had a chance to really get out there last night, and I could tell you, man, it ain't like it used to be. It just ain't. And everywhere that I'm going and everywhere that I'm hearing, people is going on with life, after YouTube. And I just respect that, because I just know it, as a content creator. Like if anything happened in your family or God forbid anything happened to you, with your health or, just anything, you know what I mean? Like that's the life outside of this, that people don't really consider, and sometimes people go through things, they be hurting. Like I was speaking a little bit about depression earlier, you know, sometimes when people is hurting, they ain't got nothing to say. You can become an introvert or you could become antisocial or isolated. Like when you start isolating yourself, I just would tell people like if you could be creative in that isolation or what I mean, if you could find ways to bounce up out of it or if you could find ways to escape up out of it, um in, with the depression, I'll tell people like it's something that you have to forget about. You know what I mean? Like if you're thinking about it, it makes it hard to heal, but once you start forgetting about it, that's what I wanted to do. Wanted to finish what I was talking about with Bird last night. Um, for me, healing from depression was me starting my channel. being able to talk and get stuff off my chest, being able to be myself, being able to learn more about myself, and being able to find people, meet people, talk to people, um, and then to start that journey and walk on that journey and just start to enjoy that journey. um, it helped me forget about the things that was holding me down. I can't say it was just me and my health and dealing with the fact that I can't do certain things anymore. It was other things in my life that was bothering me. I couldn't do this, or it was certain things that was just hindering my process of me growing. And I would just say, that once I started to start my channel and live stream, make videos and then live stream, um, that journey kept my mind away from other things because I started feeling busy. I started feeling creative. I started feeling like I wanted to branch out within what I was doing. I feel like everything I was holding in, you know what I mean? Like I had a chance now that I could finally escape. I found an escape. This was an outlet for me. I was telling people before that, every rapper has a hashtag or has, gimmick, something that identifies with them, like Bow Wow, Woody's, and Mr. 106, like 106 in Park. That's what, you know what I mean? It was a catchphrase that went with them. You know what I mean? And I feel like, damn, I'm gonna go somewhere with that. But the fact of the matter is, once I started my channel, I started coming out here, being able to live my experiences on my live stream, to be passionate, to talk about stuff. And I mean, it started to open me up to come from behind that wall and stop being so isolated or so guarded. But like I was saying earlier in this, but if anything happens in life where something happens, you know what I mean, and it takes you away from this, you got to deal with life, and I don't think people understand how important that is. It's like, when take a break or something like that, like you supposed to go out here and tell everybody and just keep telling people, like everybody will still wonder where you are when you take that break, or if you leave and then when you come back, it's like, where you been? Well, I told him, I told her, told him, and her too. You know what I mean? And just like, oh, you ain't know? Boy, don't you hate being the last person to know something? Man, I hate it. I hate being the last person to know something, boy. There's certain things I just don't like. But because I was thinking about something I could talk about, but I probably should, just because I've been cool about, just staying in my lane, and the stuff I do, speak on. It's been a process for me. I'm learning a lot. I feel like I'm still learning, but I started to go back into a depression before, but never like when I first felt it. You know what I mean? Because me being able to be creative, like that helped me to not think about certain things. You know what I mean? And just continue to just put my mind into it. And I think that's where the consistency came from me. You know what I mean? Was that I was taking that energy and burning it off to just go make me a video. If I could make me a video knowing how I feel right now, you know what I mean? Because on the video, I'm able to smile, I'm able to laugh. And see, that's what Isa was saying last night. Like, yo, it's so good. She was saying, it's so good. She didn't say, yo, but she said, it's so good to see you back on your live stream. She said, that's what I used to see. And I'm used to seeing you smiling and laughing. It feels good to see you smiling. That's what I need to show. Like, don't come out here showing no negative energy, And true indeed. If I do show some negative energy, I probably am gonna get some support. But I'm one of them people, man. Like I'm just learning out here and how I feel and how I felt before. I don't really like to come to people chat, have conversations. If I come by, I say what's up to the content creator. Sometimes people might say something to me or speak. I don't like to say nothing back to them in other people's chat. It's just the respect of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't try to flood people chat anyway. Yeah, shout out to you, BDB. My favorite YouTube employee. Yeah, you keep saying that. And you know what, boss man? I start feeling like that too. Like, man, yo, like you you produce inspiration. You inspire me. And I'm gonna tell you how. Ever since ever since you said I can't take no time out, man, you see me out here in these streets. Look, I'm out here even doing silence, boy. Look, I'm probably gonna do a silent later on the day. I think that's the best thing now, man. Like, I'm telling you, man, like that silence is cool. And to be up in the chat or whatever, I had a chance to study. I had a chance to do some stuff last night. My boyfriend came by. But the fact of the matter, what I'm saying is, as you should, fam. How you feel? How you living? Uh, so as I was saying, when I end up leaving your channel yesterday, and you know, I know I didn't stay that long, but I was in the middle of doing so. I was trying to put together my project, my live stream, my silent live stream project, and and Cash Stash. I don't even know if he was there or what, because I don't look in the chat. I just speak to the content creator. I try not to go to people's chat and have conversations with other people, just to be respectful to the content creator or their content or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's why I use in the background. But I said I got to start coming out the background because I start going on my other channel. Start going on this channel more now that I'm here. I can start going out and being all out in the neighborhoods and going to people's channels and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, I was talking about when I left your channel, Cash Stash, your homeboy, said something to me on my channel. And you know what I mean? He said he locked in from BDB. I knew as soon as he came from you, like, you know what I mean? Like you have great people around you. Like I met some good people from you. And you know, he said I guess he was there. He said I connected to you, but he left it on the comment. And he said he locked in. Well, I went to his channel and I watched the first video, you know what I mean? And I actually watched all of it. And yo, he said some stuff that had me thinking, you know what I mean? Like I just said it even on this live stream. Like I really don't want to get too into it, you know what I mean? But the introvert, you know what I mean? Like I'm an introvert, you know. I never considered myself one, but I have my ways, you know. I'm very isolated, you know. Like I just find it easier for me to comprehend, you know. And I've been talking a little bit about it on this live stream, but it was therapeutic, you know what I mean, to see his production and what he's talking about and how he deals with it. And then the question was, are you creative in that time? You know what I mean? Like, and I was thinking there's been a time where I was isolated, then there's been a time where I felt more creative. And it was when I was going through a time of depression. Tribs, now see all the benefits from being back at work. Look, I'm finding good content again. Yeah, because you know it's changing my life again. You know what I mean? Because now I'm more a part of it. I'm feeling more a part of something. You know, I'm feeling like I'm building again. You know, just staying up late last night on my live stream, you know, my silent live stream, like I'm in the chat, you know, and I'm just really just clocking to check the numbers to see the views of the people, how I can get the interaction to go live later in the evening. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it like that, but I would like to. But for now, I'll be able to do the silent live streams where people don't have to come stay, they just check in. Um, you know, I mean, it make it easier for a lot of stuff for me, you know, but just to get the back on the air, just to be on the air, you know, and the silent live stream, like no music, no sound, like yo, it gave me. Okay, so I had the video with a little bit of sound and I was playing it in a loop, but I don't like loops in real life. Like they bother me in real life. Like I feel like it could drive me crazy. And I was feeling like I didn't want to feel the people to feel like I was trying to confuse them, or I was trying to program, or I was trying to bewitch them. You know what I mean? Any kind of magical spell like that these people do out here on YouTube. Not even just on YouTube, they do it on other platforms, TV, all the rest of that. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to add to it, but to host a live stream of silence, like I was playing that video with sound and it was looping, and I was saying to myself, it's getting on my nerves. I turned it down, no sound. Well, the fact of the matter is, when I really did turn it off and just had the sound, it sounded so much different. Like you could feel the difference. You know what I mean? Like you could just hear it stop. And that sound right there is the sound I'd rather produce. It's quiet, you know what I mean? If I ain't talking, playing some music or something like that, you know what I mean? But if I'm gonna do a show, I mean do a live stream, a silent live stream, I'd rather do it like that for the silence. So um that's just me over talking myself, extending my voice. But it's just good to know that we still have a voice, and there's people out there that speaking their voice, and there's people out there that's inspiring, encouraging, motivating, and uplifting people. And I can just tell you that Cash Stash, if you hear this back, like yo, that made me think, and you can see that it made me think because I done spoke about it so much on this live stream. Um, so I'll be watching my content and I'll be saying to myself, like, it keeps my attention, you know what I mean? And not everything can keep my attention. Not everybody, can come in my space. I'm just like that. I guess it's just the antisocial side of me. I think it's just me being protective of myself. You know what I mean? Like, it's like how you would treat your little brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I treat myself. Just um I just didn't learn to just not trust anybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody, like it's some good people out there that still, you know what I mean? They just they don't care about people. Like it's something about me that I can't be around people that don't care about people. You know what I mean? There's something about me about that, like and then most of the people that are out here, they care about people, you know. Most of the people that are content creators on YouTube care about people. It's about the people. The more people you can get, um, the more powerful you are as a people. And um, I just am blessed, to just continue to be able to come out here and just say something, and be on the air, because it's the video I need. I need to come out here and make a quick video, you know, regardless of what happened on the live stream, it's just me rewinding me back and just chilling with myself. Like I I I, I get it and I take it somewhere like a hermit. I'm just giving you my process. Like I don't know what y'all process is, but this is my process. I get it and I take it somewhere and I sit there and I watch myself. It's just something about me watching me, that entertains me, that keeps my attention, that uplifts me and motivates me in some kind of way. And to see me interact with people, you know what I mean, because of me being a introvert. Like, look, I'm up here saying introvert. I ain't never called myself one before, and it's like, am I saying it right? You got the right term? Nah, but I've always just been incognito. Just always to myself. But like I said, it takes me back to when I first gave my life to Christ. Like I was just going through a heavy struggle in life. And just guess that's anybody's testimony. And I told this story many times before, but I guess I'm gonna tell it again just because um it ain't nobody here but me. So anyway, there's a couple stories I think I'll just tell. I'm trying to think where should I start, just because I wanted to just spend some time here. Um, I I was gonna go somewhere with Bird, but Bird is gone, so I ain't gonna worry about that part of the story. So I'll just go back to so I was talking about when I was in had my first back surgery. 2006, um, November November 29th, 1993, uh, was the day that I almost lost my life. Um, went to basketball practice and everything was good. Day before the first game, everything, you know what I mean? And my pops would usually pick me up from work, and for some reason the coach wouldn't let me call my dad. You know what I mean? He's pointed to some of the players that was in the locker room. He's like, ride with him. I ain't gonna say his name, but he was like, ride with him. Um, he was somebody that was on the team, little short dude, but these kids are where I was going to school from, like, you know, good kids. I ain't gonna say nothing bad, So the dude that was driving, like, he started driving. I was like, all right, cool, I'll ride with them. He was like, cause the coach, the way coach put it, he sold it. He was like, cause such and such, he's gonna take such and such home and such and such. And I'm like, okay. But as he's taking them home, like, it's opposite way of my house. You know what I mean? But I didn't trip, whatever. So it was a 2-lane street right here on Cheyenne and going towards Desert Shores. And the dude that was driving had a brand new 1993 Beretta. That's the car. And I was in the back seat, freshman. Well, I was a sophomore in high school, but I was like 15 years old. I was in the back seat. And somebody, I ain't gonna say no names or nothing because I ain't putting it out there like that. But somebody sitting in the front seat. Nah, I'm just gonna say, okay. So that's the story, right? Was like, he was like, look, make this thing go fast, like, saying, push the pedal to the metal, let's go. Like, I'm like, oh, shucks. Shout out to Monkey Man Productions. Appreciate you. Good afternoon. Legends is in the building. Appreciate you checking in. Look, I'm just telling this story. So 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 he like push the pedal to the metal. Let's go. Like, we drop. Like, I'm watching the number just go up. Like, that jump start going up, boy. I'm talking about 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to keep on going up to 70 to I seen it go to 103. You know what I mean? And, it's a 2-lane street, and the car in front of it was a car in front of us. It At first it looked like it's gonna keep straight, and then all of a sudden, it turned on a signal light, to take a left, and we was going so fast that we was coming up on that car real quick, and the car, that before the car could take that left, and he had a signal light on, there was a car coming. He was waiting for so he could take that left, and the dude driving the car we was in, he pushed the brakes, and y'all just slid. It just slid. Like it slid towards oncoming traffic, slid to the car behind us, and it just slid. And I'm talking about, I hit a brick wall, and I'm talking about that immediately. I felt it. You know what I mean? And I like unconscious. You know what I mean? And they had to break the window, get me out. Like they didn't think I made it. But this is one reason I just thank the Lord. Like, I'm here, for a lot of reasons. You know what I mean? To do a lot of things. But I woke up in the ambulance. And I was going through some stuff. Just to walk. And everything. But I wanted to hurry up and get back to school so I could play in the game the next day. You know what I mean? And they didn't think I should hurry up and rush back. Everybody was like, no, don't. But I did. I rushed back, and I had a neck brace on, and walking around school and stuff. Like, I'm talking about, it made me popular. Everybody heard about it. Like, you talking about somebody do something for clout? I was out there. I did it a couple times throughout life. But through that situation, I had to go through some things, and I was good. That I never had to have back surgery and nothing. Like, I bounced back. I grew up, started living life and stuff. And then like what I was telling Bird earlier, with depression, like I was on my way home from work one day, in 2006, and all of a sudden I get into an accident, and then I had to get back surgery. Never know that that's the last day of work. And I would tell people out there, that are able bodies, like you are able to work and you're able body and you physically are able to get out there and do some things, you do that, because that was the part for me that was hard for me, is that I wasn't as able as I used to be to do the things I used to do. And I was trying to tell Bird yesterday that, because he was talking about back pain, and I was telling people, I won't. I mean, I would tell people that with the back pain after a back surgery, where they have to replace the disc, it feel like you're separated into two pieces. Like you know how the wrestlers be pulling you over their knee and they do like this. That's what it feel like. Look like. Shout out to Bird. He's still in the house, or he came back. Yeah, Bird. So I end up twisting back around and getting back to what we were talking about last night. And and through that process of me going and taking that look, that's an L. Taking that L and having to get back surgery and stuff, that's when I had to find myself. You know what I mean? Like you really can go through a mid-age crisis. You can go through, and then when you're going through stuff in your life, and then I was going through stuff with finances, then I was personally going through stuff with my walk. And I think ever since I gave myself to Christ, it's always been me just struggling with my walk. You know what I mean? Just facing some stuff, that I have to deal with, or that I had to deal with, or that I have to continue to deal with. Like this is what life is. You know what I mean? And it doesn't separate me from people, um, it just draws me to myself. Like it's not a separation. It's just listen, I had to fry some eggs and rice. Man, I want some French fries. I ain't gonna lie. But I got some food up in there from last night that I didn't eat. I sometimes still having an issue with the swallowing thing, even though the doctor said I'm good. Like, man, I don't want them to have to mush my food up to feed me. Yeah, so it's the live stream, the video for me. You know what I mean? Like, I could rewind that back, and I'm probably gonna relive through some things. Just kind of sharing it. Um, but I think it was another story I was gonna say. But I don't know what part of what that story is. But I didn't know if I would share that again. Just as far as my accident then. You know what I mean? Um, But I tell people, man, God has been so good to me, man. Like I feel like I got my full health and strength. You know, um, I'm still able to sit up, walk, talk. You know, when I first had back surgery, the doctor told me like, the recovery is anywhere from 4 months to 2 years. That was for my first one. I had like probably like three. You know, and I don't know if people know. Like I don't. I never shared it, and I don't know if I'll share it now, just because I don't want to get too personal. Like that's personal. So, but I could say that I did have a surgery, um, and I could tell you that when the doctor told me anywhere from 4 months to 2 years, um, and he let me know the risk that could happen, of me just doing the surgery in general. You know what I mean? Like it's a complicated situation, and I feel like I had to just deal with it. Like you gonna have to face this situation, whether you do or you don't do it. Like you still gonna have this, still suffer from this. You know what I mean? And for me, I was just trying to stay strong within that, because I was like, well, I heal. I believe in a God that heals. I believe in a healer. You know what I mean? But when you go through some pain, it's like, man, I wouldn't tell nobody to do it. I wouldn't tell nobody not to do it. That back surgery is a 50-50 to me. Some people do it, some people don't. It didn't like the neck surgery. Like, look, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's it. Be, I guess it was like, how old are you? You know what I mean? Like, you should probably ask, how old are you? But that's always been a part of my walk and a part of my journey was just the recovery. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I'm still in recovery, still trying to, you know what I mean? That's the lyric. You know what I mean? Just that's part of my escape. It took me there. You know, I kind of feel like I need to play the record just because that's what it is. You know, I feel like I need to play that record because what I just spoke right here, that's exactly what it is, man. It's what's love.
Yeah, mic check. Yeah. My composition is a novel, true love story. It's my written testimony, recorded document, personal account of my journey, a testament of faith. A story of struggle, blood, sweat, and tears. All the good, all the bad, and all the ugly. All the years it felt like they didn't love me. I felt abandoned, boy, they left me lonely. Stranded, I took life for granted. Last minute, I started to panic. I'm under attack for my humility. I'm still in recovery from my disability. Falling off my feet with no stability. No job security. Discouraged by my insecurities. All my failed opportunities. So close to having my foot in the door of the industry. All the bad investments. All the money I tasted and wasted. The breakup of my family. Or what it took to keep my sanity. Fighting for custody. Ain't never been me. I was a young teenage statistic. Struggling to stay optimistic. What's life without love? What's love without peace? What's love without trust? What's love? What's love? What's life without love? What's love without peace? What's love without trust? What's love? What's love? Yeah. Back then, the music made my soul hurt. Cutthroat, I was cut to the heart. I was wounded, torn apart. I was hurt to the core. Over and over, I came back to settle the score. I ain't never been happy with my position. Full speed, determined, going after it instead of wishing. As long as my feet is kicking, time is ticking and time flies. I'm not that type of guy. I'm simple but complex, I got next. Been waiting in line with my rhyme, trying to stay in between the lines of the margin. 5-finger discount, I'm shopping for bargains. I know what it means to be starving, trying to feed them hunger pains. It's the type of hurt you can't explain. I mean, Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of beans. I guess that's having big dreams. What's life without love? What's love without peace? What's love without trust? What's love? What's love? What's life without love? What's love without peace? What's love without trust? What's love? What's love? Searching for an outlet, I try to stick to the concept without setting high expectations of my new presentation. I speak with the art, my poetry is colorful. I paint pictures with broken language, trying to use my people skills to reach mass communication. I'm overpopulated with my fascination. I try to stay in character, keep that animation. Stay creative and crafty, playing my part of a creation. My younger days, Smitty said I was clever. My older days, I'm pushing myself to get better. I'm sick, I'm dying inside. I ran out of tears to cry. I ran out of words to say. I stopped depending on people, prepare for the sequel, a series of my current events. Chronicles of Nail. The book got a storyline. By design until the end of time. I never give up on the grind. I'm a gaslight, the pedal go for mine. What's life without love? What's love without peace? What's love without trust? What's love? What's love?
Yeah, Bert. Shout out to you, and you have a good day at work, man. I appreciate you checking in or checking back in. Sorry to interrupt the flow of the song, but I started thinking, man, like I didn't tell like the whole story. You know what I mean? So when we before when we was driving in the car, right, and I was saying somebody was like, drive this thing fast, so we was driving it fast. And what happened was the person that was sitting next to me, he ended up saying, "Hey, you just missed my turn." And we all in the car, all four of us, looked back like this, and then we turned around, and then we seen the car in front of us turn the signal light on. And then that's when he broke, and he couldn't go to the right and he couldn't go to the left because it was a ditch on the right and it was a 15 ditch that we was heading into, and that wall was what separated us from that ditch. So I want to say, it's like it's foggy, you know what I mean? But when my memory takes me back, it takes me to the point that I'm happy to be here. God has always been good to me. That was when I was like a sophomore in high school. But as I got older, to be introverted from people was when consecration came in my life. I was going through some, and I felt like I needed something, to help me at that time, what I was going through. But I was young. I was probably like 22, 24, about 24 years old. And it was hard at the time, what I mean, for me to adjust, starting to become an adult and stuff like that, and growing up, being on my own, you know, taking care of things, being responsible. And my mom was talking to me one day, and I was just kind of down. I wouldn't say I was depressed or in a deep depression, not at 24. I think I was just wondering, like trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I got fired from a couple jobs. Um, uh, so anyway, my mom said, "You want to come to church with me tomorrow?" I was like, "Church? What's church gonna do?" So let me take the story from back. Let me take it back a little further. So I got to breakfast one day, and this dude walk up to the table. I'm like 19 years old. I'm on a date. This dude walk up to the table. He like, you got a purpose in life. At 19, you know what I mean? We at IHOP. He with his wife. You know what I mean? I'm just getting out of high school, really. I got all these decisions to make, and the dude walk up. He said, "You got a big purpose in your life." He said, "God gonna use you in mighty ways." How you just sitting at a table when somebody say that to you? That was the first time somebody really actually told me about God, and that is what led me on my journey. Led me on my journey to try to figure it out. This is around the time I'm hearing real music, hearing about the New World Order, hearing about the Illuminati, hearing about all these different things. You know what I mean? In the world, hearing about religion. I'm learning about Muslims. You know what I mean? Like I was almost a Muslim. You know, I had a homeboy used to come pick me up, take me to the mosque. You know, shout out to my man Joey. And got a chance to see him later on in life. I don't know if he is or if he's not, but I was almost one in the ninth grade. Um, but my mom asked me, so later on in life, so I'm back to that part of the story. So later on in life, I was going through something, and my mom asked me to go to church, and I'm like, well, I don't know what church gonna do, but I'll go. And I went, and I actually heard the word of God, and I actually heard a message, and this man gave the message so good that it moved me. I felt something. I felt something in me. I felt something, and that church that I went to, and I looked up, that was speaking the word of God. That man was the same man from the restaurant when I was 19 years old. I seen him again at his church. Didn't even know that's the church I'm going to. There he go. That right there made me feel comfortable because now I want to know what's my purpose. You know what I mean? So his message opened the doors of the church to say, does anybody want to give their life today? And I thought about it. You know what I mean? He's like, come to the altar, give it to God, and that was how I actually met the Lord. Because when I went to the altar, I just fell right there at the altar, just gave myself to the Lord. I cried out all my pains, all my cares, my worries, my concerns, my doubts, my fears. You know what I'm saying? To face the world, like I was dealing with my identity. You know what I mean? Like, do I put the music down? Do I put this down? Do I put friends down? I couldn't find myself. You know what I mean? That day I gave it all to the Lord. Something just changed like overnight. It seemed like immediately. You know what I mean? Like, I was able to cry all of my stuff that I was going through out right there at the altar. That I was seeing stuff being released from me. It was coming out. It's coming out. Yo, I'm talking about, it felt so good that was my first experience with God. Like, didn't know how to talk to him, didn't know what salvation was, didn't know a scripture, wasn't raised in the church, wasn't around people in church. You know what I mean? I just knew what was going on in life, you know what I mean? With me growing up in high school and you know what I mean, like trying to become a man, and I had, just all of these responsibilities to face, that I went to God about it, at about the age of 24. And ever since that day, it was always a struggle for me. But I started to isolate myself and consecrate myself and be by myself, because I would read. I'll try to get to know the Lord. I'll try to pray, talk to him, try to find him. I would try to learn how to fast. I would try to, do anything that the word was saying, and then I would just be hungry for the word. And then what I would do is I would walk around and just praise God all day, just praise him, just praise him. And then I would always imagine myself testifying. I start testifying, talking to the Lord in my prayer, but testifying at the same time, just to tell him about his goodness, his mercy, the things that he's taken me from, the places he's let me see, the people he's surrounded me around. Like, he's protected me, he's been with me. And I would just thank him. Like, I would start talking like I was talking in the church, testifying in front of people, witnessing. You know what I mean? And that was what I was doing at the age of 24. Well, um, I had just lost a job. I got fired. And I'm telling people, you know what I mean? I got fired. They sent me for a drug test one day, just out of nowhere. And the only reason I know I did is because they were hating. Like, it was the other dude that just hired. He was hating because he knew everybody in that place wanted me to have that job. You know what I mean? But there's a story to that too, because there was a dude that actually came up in there shooting, and I was at work when it happened. That I could actually tell, and I'd probably tell a little later than now that I thought about it. But I want to get back to what I was saying. Like, I was going through some stuff at that time where I wasn't working. I had stuff going on, and I would work temp jobs, like temporary jobs, warehouse jobs and stuff like that. But my uncle one day told me, he's like, and shout out to Uncle Bernard, and shout out to KP, shout out to Ken Arthur. And the reason why I say that is because them two, my uncles, they be watching it and they be telling me, like, to keep my videos going. Like, you know what I mean? They be watching it. So shout out to y'all. But my Uncle Bernard, which is my mom's twin, my mom's a twin. Um, my Uncle Bernard told me one day, he was like, he knew what I was going through. And he always told me to believe, you know what I mean? Some my uncle and my mom's always told me, you know what I mean, like, the way they was raised, like, they would go to church. They was actually raised in a Church of God in Christ, where they have actual strict rules in the church, and I can respect that because God is a God of order. But anyway, my uncle used to tell me, like, he'd be watching the games, drinking a cold one, you know what I mean, and I would listen to him. You know what I mean? He always used to tell me, you know, when they start messing with the water, then we got a problem. That's what he used to tell me about life. But he used to always say Donnie, because that's what my family called me. They call me Don. He said, Don, he said, you should start going to church. You know what I mean? He's like, even if you don't know what's going on, just stay there. You might hear something. You know what I mean? That's something I always did. I stayed with that. Appreciate you, Connor. Stay with that mentality. You know what I mean? Just growing up. And so my mom always say that type of stuff. Just stay. You know what I mean? Just as long as you are there, you might hear something. You know, and I heard something. You know, I started to feel stuff. I started to see stuff. I started to read. I started to get deeper into his word. It started to help me grow. But when I was over my uncle's house talking that day, he told me about joining the union. You know what I mean? He's like, you know, you got a family, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that. You know, he was like, you ain't working. He's like, go join the union. The union send you out. So I went and joined the union. There's a testimony and a story about that too, but part of that testimony was, you know what I mean, 11:59, I had a baby on the way, you know, a lot of issues in life going on, you know what I mean. I went to the union, joined it, and they called me, you know what I mean. It was like, you know, we got a temporary position, you know, we want you to come out here and check it out. We're gonna see if we like you. Like, cool, you know. I dealt with some racism. I dealt with some stuff that went on there, but God showed me He's real. Um, he showed me He's real, and He showed me that He loved me. He showed me something. So anyway, I went there and I started working there, and I worked there for a little bit, and I met some people up in there and stuff like that. But I was thinking, do I want to tell them that or not? I kind of don't. I don't want to tell you that part of the story only because there's some racist people out here on YouTube. I think they'll find that part funny. I didn't find it funny then, and I don't want to talk about it now just because I still don't find it funny. Like God showed me something about that. That's the only reason why I would tell you, because something happened to that man. Something happened to him. You know what I mean? I would say to myself, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Don't say nothing. Don't do nothing. You go out there, you do what you're supposed to do. It make them mad for them to see you make the type of money that they make. That's a mentality I used to have to go to work with every day. Anyway, so I go out there as a temp. I was the only black dude on the crew, you know what I'm saying? And even though I was there, you know, I was happy to be there because the type of money I was making at the time, like, yo, this is good for me. You know what I mean? Like, this is a good job. And the temp position would last like 3 months or something like that. Well, I'm gonna tell the story. So while I'm on the temporary position, like I said, I was the only black dude on the crew. And shout out to Jeff, because Jeff is subscribed to my channel over here. And just in case you see my video, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I appreciate the way you treated me. I mean, it was tight. And he loved the Philippines. You know, shout out to my homeboy Jeff. Just in case, I know he on the video, you know, so shout out to you, J Dog. Appreciate you coming back. Always here for the spaghetti, man. Look here, save me some. They cook enough. So I would go to work every day as a temp for, you know, few months at a time, you know what I mean? And then they lay you off and stuff like that, especially around the holidays out here. Like, it's a hotel industry out here in Las Vegas. Most of the people will have like hotel jobs and stuff like that, but the benefits and stuff like that is serious. Like, the benefits is good. So anyway, I would go to work, and with the job, what it would have to do is the foreman, that's the supervisor, the manager, however way you want to call it, like he would give out the crew what to do. And it was one, two, three, it was like 5 or 6 of them. They all the same color. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna I don't want to pinpoint color just because I'm funny about color, you know what I mean, and talk about it like it's touchy, you know what I mean. But we can go there. I ain't afraid to go there. But it's like I hate to identify people by their skin color, you know, their skin tone. Um, but anyway, my foreman tells each and every one of us, each and every one of them, because I was a temp, they was all permanent. So I'm on a temp. I'm the only temp there too. So I'm sitting outside the shop, not really in the shop because I didn't feel comfortable enough to go sit with all of them. So the boss tells them what to do and tells that one right there, you go out there, you get Darnell, and y'all go do this. So he walk out, they all coming out the shop, right? And they gotta walk into the little area where I'm sitting at, you know. And I heard what you're supposed to do. Shout out to Jada Jordan, the Jay Jordan. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, bro. Just in the house, man, trying to get my watch hours and just another video so I can go back and watch it. So I'm up here reminiscing. Man, I feel like I'm drinking right now. I ain't even gonna lie. But let me get into my story because I'm gonna forget it. Appreciate you, man. The chap is in the building, right there in the chat. Appreciate you, man. And then I've been stopping over your channel and been in the background and whatnot. You know, I ain't figure out what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. I got it. I'm just trying to see what is this? Is this something new? So anyway, the dude get told to come get me so we can go do the job of where we supposed to go. And when he walked out that part of the shop, he said to me, "Come on, monkey." He said that to me right in front of the rest of them. I know they heard it, you know what I mean? But he said, "Come on, monkey." And I wanted to snap right there and say something, but then it's like, yo, I was already feeling like they were already picking at me. You know what I'm saying? They was already testing me already. You know what I mean? And because I'm young, like the first thing they want me to do was fire back. So what I did was I waited because I know him and I get ready to be alone. So him and I take that walk and I let him know I ain't got no problems with you, no disrespect to you, but don't ever disrespect me like that. He's like, "What you talking about?" I said, "You called me a monkey." He said, "No, I didn't. I called you man." I said, "You called me what you called me. I know what you did." You know what I mean? So there's another black electrician one that be up there, you know, and he see me one day, you know what I'm saying? He see me down. He's like, "What's wrong?" I told him, you know what I'm saying, this what happened. You know, and because he was like one of the only blacks in that department, you know, with me, you know what I mean, in the maintenance department, um, he knew who I was talking about. He knew everything about how things was and everything. Like he tried to put me on game, let me know, you know, and I respected him for that. You know, I want to say shout out to Melvin. You know, I ain't forgot about you either. You know, shout out to Mr. Al, shout out to Mike. Both of them passed away, you know what I mean? But shout out to them. I had a chance to know them. But then was the brothers in the maintenance department, you know, and so I told Melvin. Well, Melvin went straight to Larry. That's his name. His name was Larry. Look, I ain't got no problem telling y'all what his name was. His name was Larry. Look, Larry, right. The only reason why I'm saying that is because it's a part of the story about what I'm about to tell you. So Melvin go to him. You know what I mean? He got an issue with him. He getting ready to say something. Like, you know what I mean? Basically kind of looking out for me. You know what I mean? Like he spread the word to all of them, not to rock, not to mess with me. You know what I mean? And he knew all of them. You know what I mean? So he respected that. But the word got out that I said something, you know, and I got laid off. I can't say it was because of that, but I got laid off, right? So now I'm like really having to depend on God because I felt like it was God that sent me out there. Like I got a job like right away after my uncle told me about it. After I done gave my life to Christ, all that. So I'm like, man, God is gonna bless me. God has blessed me. I'm seeing Pam B is in that house. What's cooking? To be honest with you, I'm hungry, and I've been here an hour, 45 minutes, just running my mouth, trying to say enough to get off this one so I can go get me something to eat. But every time you come up in here, I'm noticing that you hungry. Pam B, you're gonna have to start bringing some food or bringing your own stuff. It's B.O.B. What is it, B.O.B.? Bring your own beer. So I got laid off, and I was just like stressing now, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? I had all this stuff going on. And I was just like, man, I ain't trying to do this. Well, the Lord, I made homemade pizza. Damn, I wanted to try to do something like that. But instead, they made corn dogs. It was a family dinner idea. My fault. But so look, eating pizza too. Look at y'all. Any one of y'all want to send some pizza over here? So anyway, so I got laid off, right? And I'm sitting up here like tripping, like all this stuff. And then the foreman called me about a month later, 3 weeks later to a month. He called me and he was like, are you busy or do you have anything going on with you right now? I was like, no. He said, do you want a job? I was like, yeah. He said, come up here so you can fill out the paperwork. He said, we got a position for you. I was like, cool. Then I started to find out about my seniority and stuff like that. Like they couldn't hire nobody else before me and all the rest of that. So I go up there, take my drug test, you know, all the rest of that stuff. Like I was at the time, I was like, I ain't doing nothing just because, boy, I need this job, you know. And I go to fill the paperwork out, and the dude that called me Monkey, his name was on the paperwork. It said, new hire, Darnell Ruffin. It said, replacement, Larry Wright. It's like, damn, they gave me this man job. So, I just want to tell people that's how good, that's how God worked. He do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like he promoted me and demoted him. So now I'm up there. I got my own job. I go up there when the bosses is not there. Like I get there early. I'm set up. I'm setting up operation. As soon as I get up in there, I'm setting up operation. And I had a great shift, everything, you know. So one day I come to work and I had to move the forklift. So, I started as a groundskeeper. Look, they like, what does that classify as? I don't want to get into all that. All right, leave it alone. But I used to drive this little cart around the hotel, right? That's how people used to know me. Some people, you know, shout out to Rochelle, just because I know she used to check in and she used to crack up because I used to always see her on my cart. You know what I mean? I seen her on my route. So anyway, I go to work one day and I have to move the forklift so I can get to my cart, right? I got a radio. I'm talking about, I'm setting up now. I got a radio. I can hear what's going on, like where everybody at, what time the bosses is coming in, everything. Like so the dude comes over the radio and he's like, you know, hey, I just want you guys to know, Larry Wright is no longer with us. You know, he passed away. He drank himself to death. It was crazy to hear that. Like, whoa, Larry Wright was a dude. I'm telling you, man, like God got a way of working with people. That's why I don't say nothing. I just gonna say, revenge is mine, said the Lord, and I'll just walk away from it. You know what I mean? Let God deal with it. That's why, because I seen God show up like that. Like, yo, don't play. Not telling people don't play with me, but I'm just saying you never know how God feel about a person. You know what I'm saying? Like you might not want to do that. Especially if like a person could be anointed. Like I was really feeling like I was anointed at the time. Like he didn't want to do that. But but let me say this, because I used to work and I used to do stuff, but I was telling you, I started to pray. I started to really talk to God. I started to read. I started to spend time with him. I started to only focus on him. I took away this. I'm talking about, I stopped watching TV probably in my 20s. Like it's been years. Like I stopped. You know what I mean? I started feeling like silence was something good for me. Like I started to feel like I started to hear from God. I started to see things like I'll be working at work, like sweeping in the garage or sweeping the concretes by the doors. I used to keep the earth clean. You know what I mean? But I used to always be thankful to Lord. Like I would see somebody over there digging out the trash can to eat or something. Like I was working right there on the strip, so you would see all kinds of stuff. I'm talking. I'll be seeing like the prostitutes and the homeless people. I would see, you know, just people lost their money, you know what I mean, just out there just scrambling. I would see stuff, and I would be out there like 4 o'clock in the morning, so I would see all kinds of stuff, and I would be praying for them from a distance. You know what I mean? I seen a man over at McDonald's way across the street. I'll be praying for him, but I would always just be praying and testifying, and I always just keep that relationship with God. I was finding money, like I just out of nowhere, just like in the middle of my praise, I'll be looking up and be like, yo, it's a blessing right here. You know, I started to see things like, so I shared this before too, you know, I'm gonna share it again. Because it was around that time, you know, when I first gave my life to Christ, that I started to see things that God started to show me. And I was starting to feel like, even though I didn't really know much about God, I felt like he started to just put his word into me. Like I it's like the more and more I started to read, the more and more it started to just go in my heart and start to be written in my heart. You know what I mean? Like stuff started to just make sense to me that never made sense to me in life about other things. Like it started showing me like hidden truth. Like stuff started popping up to me like, oh my God, like I didn't know that was in there or in there like that. Like it had to be God showed me that. So I would believe in the Holy Spirit because I started to feel like I had evidence of it. How did I have evidence of it? Because I went to a church revival one day with the leadership of Pastor Bill McDonald, and there's a lady that was up in there. Her name was Tammy Gibson, and she came out and she was an evangelist. She would go to different churches and stuff. And she I she opened they had the praise music on and doors was open and stuff, and was like, you want to come to the altar and praise the Lord. You know what I mean? I was just at the altar praising the Lord. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be filled with his anointing. I wanted God to touch me. I wanted all that when I was young and I gave my life to Christ. Like I was passionate about God. Like I want to know this God. God got to show me something. Well, because I was in the good with God, something bad had happened out of nowhere. Like the enemy tried to use something against me and tried to force a little device, a little weapon towards me, and came at me with some bull, basically. Yo, so to make the long story short, not to go too deep in the story, that's when God showed up for me and showed me the evidence of the Holy Spirit, because I was able to speak another language that I have never been able to speak again. But I know how it felt. I know what happened. It was just so incredible that I called my mom, like, Mom, listen. Like I knew what it was, you know what I mean? But that was when I really started to believe that God is real, you know what I mean? And then he started showing me some other things as well, but um I just wanted to share that, because boy, I'll tell you, when I think about it, I do have a testimony, but because I was talking about the video that I seen of Cash Stash and talking about being an introvert, like this is some of the stuff that I was going through that inverted me from people. You know what I'm saying? That I started to just withdraw. Thanks, BDB. Still, are you still here? I started to withdraw myself from people then. And this is me talking like I'm at a young age, 22, 24. But I used to get into my foreman when I used to go to work every day, because of my color. you know, and it is what it is, because I had to go to the union about it, and I had to go to the human resources. Like we had a big meeting and everything. Like, yo, it was something big that happened. You know what I mean? And I let them. I pulled the race card. You know, I'm let them know. You know, but somehow, some way, God showed me something again. Because after that time right there in my life, yo, they promoted me. I was the only black man walking around there in his 20s with the white shirt and the gold badge. I was out there like other people in other departments, and I ain't saying nothing to be down on nobody, but in the other departments, it was housekeeping or the kitchen or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But for me to be in the maintenance department, one of the youngest and a black man, they used to look at me like, who, you know what I mean? And then I used to have it out with my boss, you know what I'm saying, every day. You know what I mean? He used to make me feel like I was a slave. You know, he used to stand over me and stuff like that, and buy me cleaning outside and stuff. Like we wasn't allowed inside in the hotel and stuff like that. Like he used to really be like cold. And I used to always say to him, you know what I mean? Um, all right, cool. You know, and I just walk away and I just said, Lord, guard my tongue. So I don't say the wrong thing, you know what I mean? But Lord, bless that man right there. You know what I mean? Like you want to go to the boss? You want to go to what you gonna do? Like I ain't even say nothing to you. That's how I used to come out. I ain't even say nothing to you. Boy, I'll tell you, man, 9 people back in the house. Appreciate y'all checking in. I see you, Rick. I see you, BDB. Man, I'm just reflecting. Like, this is some of the stuff I really had to go through in my life. You know what I mean? But I just shared my walk with y'all. And I didn't have to, you know, but I felt like I wanted to, because one of BDB's homeboys, you know what I mean? I watched one of his videos, and it made me think, and this is what it really pulled out of me, you know what I mean? To me, to try to identify and dig deep to find out, when was it like this and when it was like that. I just took you on a journey over 20 years ago, you know what I mean? That was pretty deep and pretty heavy to me. So I appreciate y'all listening to that, man. I'm almost 2 hours in, man. It looked like I'm finna do another 3 hours. Look. Either that, I'm about to do my silent stream, man. Like, look, I gotta keep the network running. You know what I mean? The more I go live, like, look, I feel like I did 2 hours. I did a quick video, right quick. But if I go longer, you know what I mean? Like if I take a break and I think about like some more of what was going on at that time, like I feel like I'm still creating. Like I got more in the story to go. Look, I might have to stop it, do another one just so I can finish my story, you know, but it gave me enough to watch back, you know, because I'll go back and watch the whole 3 hours, you know, and somebody else out there might not, but it's enough of it. And that's the main thing. Like, is it enough of it? And for me to get back practicing and get comfortable and stuff like that, like me just sitting here talking, like, yo, it's making me comfortable, you know, and I'm sharing stuff that's personal. Like I shouldn't have to, you know what I mean, in order to allow people in, you know, but how else would I allow them in if I just don't share, you know, like my stories, my passion, my hurt, my pain, my suffer. Like, yo, that was my full story, you know, just then, you know, because I was on the job, you know what I mean, when my daughter was born, you know, it's like they came looking for me, like, yo, you gotta go home, you know what I mean? I done been through just some stuff at that job, man, that it made me sick. You know what I mean? Like it made me feel like, yo, it, it made me question people. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like the way he handled me, you know, and some later on in life, my homeboy Six said, shout out to my boy CIX 360 degrees. Shout out to him. He said, when people hurt you, when people do you wrong, all the rest of that, like, don't let them people change who you are. God designed you a certain kind of way. You continue to be the way that God designed you, because if you change, you're going to change for them people. You ain't going to change because God changed you or because you change it for God. You change it because you letting them people control you to be what they want you to be. Don't let them people change you, y'all. You know, God has made me a certain kind of way, and that kept me in line since he said that, you know what I mean? Like, yo, God has made me a certain kind of way, that um yeah, sometimes it withdraws me from people, and do I find a creative side there? Yeah, there's something there. It's not like, I'm in a place where I'm going to do something, you know what I mean, to me or to somebody else. It's never been that so deep and dark to me. You know what I mean? Like, I lost a lot, but I gained so much because I never knew what I was supposed to do, but I would hear people um all the time, and it's content creators that I would listen to. Well, I was talking about this around the time before, but I forgot what I was talking about before. But now I remember. Then I didn't remember. I was listening to I was telling people about me being on YouTube like for a while, like ever since the Kanika Jenkins story. I actually been out here since um, Prodigy when he was killed as the rapper Prodigy when he was killed. I went to Mike Larry live stream. All right, so anyway, I sat in there and chilled on that live stream, and it was on my birthday. I started to like how he was live, like this is right now. Like, oh, okay, I started to get that. Well, anyway, I ended up on his platform somehow later on, and it's because the Kanika Jenkins story, you know what I mean? And that was the girl that was found in the freezer out there in Chicago. So that started giving me a chance to see these streets. And I think that was like 2017. But it started giving me a chance to really see what was YouTube and social media and all the rest of that, right? And I started to go to other people's platforms and listening to them and seeing them live and the information that they would have and stuff like that, that it drew me in to make me want to speak and say something just from the topic that was out there. Yo, so when I first got on these streets, not only was I at Mike Larry's platform, I was at other people's platform. I didn't feel like I was committed to nobody's channel. I wanted to get out here and say something. I needed a place to say it, and I was gonna go wherever they would let me say it. And I felt like God was using me then because ended up on people's channel. From something I said. They started adding it into their content, you know what I mean? The collar, you know what I mean? And I started ended up on bigger platform. But see, but first I was on my platform. He get the news first, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter why I'm even saying this is there's a dude out here, like I got mad respect for him and for his belief and all the rest of that, and that's Chosen Few. Not a lot of people call him that, you know what I mean, or even Chosen, you know what I mean? But G2G, you know, I respect him, you know what I mean, and how he lead and what he believe and his just how he handled himself as a man of God. I respect it. Well, at that time, it was different. He was still young. And it was the Kanika Jenkins stuff. It was a lot of stuff going on. Like you talk about some drama out here. Oh my God. Boy, back in those days, it used to be so much drama on YouTube. Oh my God. But it was serious. Like somebody could get hurt out here. It wasn't no like wrestling how it be. It was for real, for real. So anyway, Chosen always been about the Lord. Like he always believed, you know what I'm saying? And he never put himself in front. He always tried to let God lead. But I think around this time, you know what I'm saying, he was still trying to search. But he used to do these panels, you know what I mean? And I was listening to it. I was one of the people in the background listening. This like 2017, something like that. It was a long time ago. Well, it was around the time of Kanika Jenkins, because that's what the communities really was out here doing. Like we was investigating. Like I'm talking about, we used to get the news first. Shout out to Ryan Bass, back in the house. Hey, everybody. Appreciate you, Ryan. I'm stay right there in a minute. I'm gonna say something to you. Just give me a second. So one day I was listening to Chosen panel, and I will say, he always had something good, you know what I mean? Like there was always something good coming out of there, you know, and it always has something to do with God in the end, you know, and it's always been that for me. So that's the conversation that is out there and the people calling in. Like he had a call in show, people calling in and stuff. They had a full panel, people up there, and then they have people that will join and talk every day. Sometimes that's cool, but sometimes you get sick of hearing other people joining. You know what I'm saying? Got to hear the host and let the caller talk. So anyway, this caller called in, and I'll never forget what she said. You know, um, she was thanking Joseph for his platform, what he do, and all the rest of that. But she say, um, you know, because it was a dude that called her. He was passionate. He was passionate. He was very passionate. And I don't want to say it was me. I hope it wasn't me. I want to say, wait a minute. I think it was me. Now that I think about it, I'm the dude that called in. I wanted to play it like such. I was in the audience, but I called in one day and I said something because I love people. You know what I'm saying? I seen what the world was going through at the time. I had no platform. You know what I mean? I needed to say something. You know what I mean? And I felt like because I sound like they would have heard me before because I've already been out here in the streets and I'm out here with news. You know what I mean? So I had a particular sound that I was hoping that they would remember. So I got on this mic and I said something, you know what I mean? I was just talking about the Lord. And because they was talking about trying to find the killer. And it bothered me because it was like the one thing that came to my mind was like the story of Cain and Abel, the story of Cain and Abel. Cain got marked after he killed Abel. I say the killer gonna walk around here with a mark. I don't care who he hide from when it comes to the rest of the people in the world and the rest of that. You know what I mean? He got a mark. He can't hide from God. And that's each and every one of us when we go through something. We can't hide that from God. I don't care how you walk around here and cover yourself up. Even if you got leaves and you cover yourself up, you still naked before him. That's just what it is. And I don't want to get into that because I feel like I could park there and talk about that. But I called the show to say something about it at the time. I felt like I wanted to say it. And I was passionate about it. Like y'all know how I get sometimes. I get passionate when I want to say something, especially if I ain't got nowhere to say it. And when I hung up, I went back and I listened to it. You know what I mean? But I let it play all the way through to hear who after me. And it was this chick. She called in. She said, I came up here because I heard the passion in this dude's voice. You know what I mean? Like, she said, I want to just say to him, you know, people may never understand what you're saying, you know what I mean? But you need to keep saying it. That's what she said. You need to keep saying it. She said, if you hold it in, you're going to die like my dad did. And I was like, damn. Like, you're gonna die like my dad did. My dad never got a chance to say it. She said he was just like that, you know what I mean? And anytime you got something to say, you need to say it, you know? So it was stuff like that that happened in my life that it was like, yo, when she said her dad died, she said like it was just so much that he held in, that he loved people, you know what I mean? And he never had a chance to say it, that that to me was something I felt though, you know what I mean? So over time, trick or treat. So over time, that's something I thought about when it came down to start the channel and stuff. You know what I mean? I need something to say. You know, so in them days, I would go to different platforms, and people would let me speak, but they wanted me to be a part of their platform. You know what I mean? And it was a couple of teams like Fat Check TV, like shout out to Fat Check TV. And she said she's starting her channel back up, but she was just a researcher, investigator, private investor. Like she really smart, gifted, intelligent people. You find some very, very intelligent people out here, and I've always have. But I guess I wanted to share that to you guys because I was talking about being an introvert, and I was talking about depression, and I was talking about some of the stuff I was going through or living through, you know what I mean, just with my job and all the rest of that. Like there was something still there though. I would still go to church, I would still get involved, all the rest of that. Time passers by or whatever. I go through something else in life with me having back surgery and everything else, and then just trying to work out some stuff, and I go on my own just to figure it out, sort my head, all the rest of that, and I start the channel. Just from being at a content creator's live stream. Something he said made me want to go get me a live stream. It's like for the last time, I'm not going not record myself. Like, I didn't like to use the FaceTime for people to see me. I would hide off camera, and then I finally figured out I'm shy. You know what I mean? Not only am I shy, I'm an introvert. Don't like to be around people like that. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like, PTSD. No, but so when I started that channel, I'll just get out there and just speak and see myself. And once I started doing that, I started seeing that this was therapeutic for me. It made me happy. Then when I start being around people, start meeting people, seeing people, and then start developing a strategy, routines, and then started to incorporate stuff, that depression fell away from me. Like, you don't start thinking about that no more. When you're depressed, you sit still. You got to keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Don't sit still. You'll forget about it. You know what I mean? And then, like with me, with starting that channel and just sitting here every day, I was interacting with them that I couldn't even think about what I was going through in life or what was holding me down or stressing me. I was going through pain 24 hours a day, be on my live stream. People never knew what I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Never knew I was had back surgery or any of that. You know what I mean? I had to find something to do with my time. I had too much free time. So that's what I was doing on my free time. I would come out here, spit another one, keep on coming, spit another one. Feeling some kind of way, go out there and laugh. Go out there and smile. See yourself back. I'll make the video. I go back and I sit into my little zone, go into my little hole in the wall, go into my little area, and I watch the video and I watch myself have different emotions. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad, sometimes, you know what I mean, you make them laugh, sometimes you make me laugh. You know what I mean? It's just, I see that energy and it has helped me all the way here. And that's exactly what it is that I start the live stream. I don't write nothing down. I don't have no notes, you know what I mean? I don't have no topics. I don't have none of that stuff. If people come by, I'll sit there and chill with them. If they not here and I got a top of myself, I'll top of myself. I'm the one that has to set the mood, set the vibe. I got to build that vibe. I got to keep that vibe. I got to continue to roll out the vibe. Positive energy. This is the factory, the vibe factory. We making homemade television. This is what we going to do this year, next year. All through that year, we're going to just make homemade television. It's going to be great. We're going to get some people to join us. You're going to hear from more people. It ain't going to just be me. But for me, I got to get out there and I got to work. I got to build this. I got to do that. I got to swing my hammer. I got to get people to swing that hammer and rock with Nell. I got to build that social media presence. I got to be that personality. I got to be that person. And what I had to learn throughout all that in life is that when I got to ministry and had to do that part of my life, it don't matter what you're going through, what you've been through. You need to get out there and talk to people. You need to make them relate. You have influence is what I was told. You have influence. You need to go out there and get more people. God gonna use you to do amazing things one day, but you got to believe that. And see, for me, I ain't never tried to get out here to think it was about me. It's about my God, my King. He get the glory above all things. My praise is all that he wants from me. To praise him, to acknowledge him, to acknowledge the King. Man, he coming to the when he come back, he coming with rewards. You want a reward, he gonna get rewards. All you gotta do is endure to the end. Sometimes it's gonna be hard. Sometimes you're gonna come across some stuff that's gonna be difficult. You're gonna come across some people that's gonna be difficult. But God has a way of settling the score. Revenge is mine, said the Lord. Ain't no reason to be revengeous. Ain't no reason to look down on nobody. Ain't nobody reason. The one thing I learned about D-Nell, I don't like to see me angry at all. Any person that is angry is unhappy. You know what I mean? I want to be happy. I want to make sure that I'm happy. And I want to say, man, shout out to y'all. 7 people in the house, man. I appreciate y'all. I need a quick break because I'm going to stay here and try to do the whole 3 hours.
Yeah. Take me back, old school. I'm still stuck in that era. I ain't gonna never leave that state of mind. Yeah. Bring me back to old school hip-hop 90s rap. No cap, take me back to the days of Rap City and yo MTV raps. Bring me back to old school hip-hop 90s rap. No cap, take me back to the days of Rap City and yo MTV raps. Can I rewind the time, just talking smack on the track and take you way back to when we really used to listen to rap. Back then they used to really have a message in that. I used to rock the bells with LL. That's when I came up with the name LL Darnell. Used my government name. Would've did anything for the fortune and fame. It was about gaining a rap, making a name. Gang, recognized gang, now the music ain't the same. Studying songs used to teach us. Your favorite MC was more powerful than a preacher. Around the time you used to have to hit the beeper. White teeth, no creases in my sneakers. I miss those days. We used to have us some powerful leaders. Bring me back to old school hip-hop 90s rap. No cap, take me back to the days of Rap City and yo MTV raps. Bring me back to old school hip-hop 90s rap. No cap, take me back to the days of Rap City and yo MTV raps. What happened to all the sexy R&B singers? What happened to all the backup dancers? What happened to all the video vixens? I'm still looking for the same hoe in everybody video. Hip-hop, we used to follow the fashions and wear the baggy clothes. We used to follow the flows, we used to follow the trends. What happened to that good old-fashioned rapping? I guess it's really dead. It's been a long time since I banged my head. Take me back to the classic days. Bring back the cassette like the purple tape. But then again, put me on wax and let the record spin. Will we ever hear rap again? Take me back. I'm reminiscent of the culture, appreciating hip-hop now that I'm older. Bring me back to old school hip-hop 90s rap. No cap, take me back to the days of Rap City and yo MTV raps. Bring me back to old school hip-hop 90s rap. No cap, take me back to the days of Rap City and yo MTV raps.
Yo. I'm in the house, still in the crib, checking in, and I was thinking to myself that I need to go ahead and end this so I can stop it and start another one. I'm starting my silent live stream. Look, man, I know y'all probably did not like the silent live stream, but it gave me a chance to kind of still be in the lab, you know, to work on other things, to write some stuff, to work on some programs. It gave me a chance to interact with people. It gave me a chance to read some stuff. Like I was up in there, we was sharing Bible scriptures, and you know what I mean, we was kind of praising the Lord. You know, I actually like going live at different hours of the day. But it does get strenuous and hard on me to try to sit out there and talk all the way through. But it's something that I need to do is get my mojo back on how to speak to people, how to present myself. But by me sharing that personal testimony, I felt like I wanted to just, open up a little bit, and invite people in a little bit, to get to know me. Um, I have dealt with a lot in life, but in the end, it's my God. He's always been good to me. I never had to worry about nothing. He saved me from a lot of things, a lot of wickedness, a lot of places I probably should have never been, but it was a lot of stuff that molded me, formed me into the man and the person that I am. You may not know me, you may have heard some things, but in the end, to know me as a person, I gotta open up for you to know, So we'll see where that goes. But for the people that are celebrating Halloween, Halloween is here. Let me also say why it's on my mind. Speaking about Halloween, let me talk about this scary dude. Shout out to my man Kahana. His birthday is yesterday. And it was crazy because I I actually just happened to just think about it out the blue. You know what I mean? And text him happy birthday, and he's like, thanks, Trips. And then in the end, he didn't tell me when his birthday was. I said, I think it's this time of the year. I said, I don't know exactly what day it is. And then he actually told me the day. And I was like, dang, it was actually today. And I was like, well, yesterday. So shout out to Kahana, happy birthday. Um, we got out here, during the time of his birthday, October, like it's getting ready to make some noise here. When the wintertime comes, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have something to do. But I did have a chance to go and check out Isaac again. I want to say that. And it looks like, man, it looked like Hong Kong, man. We losing them out there in Hong Kong. But they seem to be happy, you know what I mean? And everybody's been going on about their life and doing different things, but that's what it really is, just with YouTube, because around the time that I decided to take my break, a lot of people were taking breaks, what I mean? It's just kind of going other places. Umbeck had a job, Auntie Grace was working, like everybody started, what I mean? I felt like I'm out here, I gotta carry the torch. You know what I mean? Do you ain't see Shorty out here no more? Do you ain't see you stop seeing Retro, you stop seeing Bird disappeared. It's just a lot of people just disappeared. And then look, MJ wasn't making no music. I ain't been no different. I want to say shout out to Gene. Man, one day I was listening to the record back when MJ was here, and I was talking about the Essence band. And I said, Jen. And I didn't say Jane. I don't know if she seen that or heard that or somebody else told her. You know what I mean? Like, he don't even know your name. But, just in general, I've seen people move on and do bigger and better things, and go and live their life, outside of YouTube. So I do want to say, I understand, trust me, because I was second guessing myself when I was talking to Isaac. I started second guessing myself, like, oh shucks. Isaac got to talking about it. She was like, guys, I'm still here. Oh yeah. Okay, Ryan. Let me get to talk about Ryan here in a minute. Hold on 1 second. Let me talk about Isaac for a second. In Hong Kong, like, man, we losing our support out there in Hong Kong. Look, we need the Philippines to start checking in because they're starting to move back to the Philippines. You know what I mean? But Isaac just was just telling me like she feels like she really put in some work over there on her channel. And I can understand that as an artist or a content creator. And she wants to kind of not do it like she does it, but she feels like she has to put those hours in and that time in, because she never wants the feeling of being demonetized. So we got to talk about being demonetized and stuff. And it was just funny to me because, she was telling me, I should play the video and do like she telling me, do the music and she was like, you don't even have to go out there and be on camera. Like you could just talk on the mic behind, a picture. And I'm like, yo, that ain't how they know me though. You know what I mean? Like they gotta see me. I gotta come out here and make the content. Like I ain't tripping about the monetize and about, I ain't tripping. Like it's cool because I don't do it for that. Like it ain't no big revenue in that. If I did it for that, I go cut up everything I got and I go after it. You know what I mean? And tag it like like MJ would do. Oh my God, man. So yeah, man, I would just be talking about a little bit of everything and I have fun with that. Shout out to Kahana with the hammer and the 100, the 5 stars, all that. Just you being in the house, man. What you got going today? You at work or you at home? Oh, you know what I'm talking about here. Look, I make everything Googleable. You know what I mean? If I was about the papers, like, and I ain't saying it like I got it like that. You know what I mean? Like I just gave my testimony. You know what I mean? Like, look, the Lord has been good to me. What I need, you know what I mean? Like He's gonna still be good to me. I'm gonna make it wherever I need to go, wherever. But I need to make room for my gifts, you know what I mean, that He's giving me. He's giving each of us gifts, and making room for it is me going ahead, continue to do the network because people up in here, they got gifts and they're gonna come over here and use them. I got some friends out here that sing to the Lord. Yo, shout out to Mar Channel. Yo, Colin, you remember Mar? Yo, shout out to Mar. Yo, I went to Mar Channel yesterday, man. I was so happy, so proud of Mar. Man, it was a whole worship service, you know what I mean? And man, they were singing to the Lord Jesus Christ, man. And Mar is one of those people that has a presence, a social media presence, you know what I mean, in his country. And like the ladies love him. Like I ain't gonna lie, like the ladies love Mar. They love him, you know what I mean? Like he good looking young man, you know what I mean? But I knew something was different about him because the way he did karaoke, it's like you could tell he didn't truly like it, like it was the music or something, you know what I mean? But then I felt like he used to take to me, like he used to listen to love, and I felt like he used to get out there and just talk to the people. Like he would actually sit up there and just talk and associate with people, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it because of me, but I'm just saying in general, I felt like there was something different about him, And then when I got a chance to go to his channel the other day, I heard them out there singing to the Lord, man. And man, he stopped in this song and said, "Man, thank you to Tribulation," you know. And I met him through a multiple people, you know what I mean? Like just, and then he'd be out there, And then shout out to Auntie Grace, Auntie Grace. She tried to check in on the last live stream, the 3-hour live stream. She tried to check in right at the last minute, but you could tell she out here busy. I ain't had a chance to see her since I really been on the set. You know what I mean? And maybe one day she'll be able to stop in, but she don't feel like being bothered. No, I'm just playing. No, she might be in the background or she might, watch the video back. I just want to stay encouraged. Keep your head up, be safe, whatever you got going on in life as well. I'm really truly blessed, man. Oh yeah. I remember Mark. Yeah, man. So I'm trying to think of some other people I ran into or some incidences that I had. I can't think of nothing else that I've seen out here. Like I really have been trying to come back out a little bit more, you know what I mean? But I did like the silent live stream because I feel like it's buzzing and getting people to know that we're getting back active, and I'm seeing the number looking different, but I ain't gonna lie, man. I looked at the live stream last night after the 6 hour and it said almost 100 views. And I thought about that. Like I used to get that on the regular, just on my live streams. I could at least get 130. You know what I mean? So since I done fell off and kind of been back for the last 6 months, it's always been kind of floating at the 50 mark after the live stream. But when I was at the park, I was getting the 130, 80, 80 was the low, So for me to have stopped that to stop the live stream last night, I got up about like five or something like that, and I came and stopped it. And when I stopped it, it said like 90, 94, 96 views. I was like damn, like it's 6 hours. Like we got to get out here, do more. Have a great day to Tribulation. Hey, thank you, Jay to Jordan. I appreciate you stopping by, man, and just being a part of the neighborhood, the community, man. Let me get back over here and talk about Ryan right quick, man. Ryan, you still in the house? I just need to know. Look, I don't want you to think I forgot totally about you, but man, you've been hiding in my background, man, for the last 3 years. Come on out that background. Oh man, Ryan came through last night, boy. He tried to be security, but he tried to show me he was down. Like, look, he basically said, man, go to sleep. I got this. I'm like, man, look, Ryan, don't be out here trolling, messing with my folks. You know what I mean? Like, we good. Like, they really some cool people out here. But for Ryan, Ryan was somebody that I just want to say, man, like I felt like last night, I feel like I was giving him some gems and he won't listen to me. Look, I'm gonna leave it alone only because he was leaving it alone last night. So I do want to say shout out to you and Trinidad. Like I didn't know you was out there in Trinidad. But I do appreciate you, and I need you to know that your share out there in Trinidad will really help us to move in Trinidad and get on them streets. So if you don't mind sharing me out sometime, it don't have to be this one, but anyone in the future, and anybody else in the chat, especially if you overseas, like we got a chance to find somebody we looking for, or somebody got a chance to find us, but I hope that you guys come to the silent live streams as well, because we be sharing content, sharing scriptures and stuff like that. Shout out to my man coming through the door. Eric B is in the house. Appreciate you, man. Hello everyone. Man, look, Eric B, I'm out here, man. Shucks. I done got to the point where as long as they see me live, I'm getting the content, then they be like, man, what is he saying on all them content? And then I done got to the point now, so maybe I should start doing 3 hours just so I can have enough of it, and then just to get people to see something, So I don't know how that's gonna work, man. How did the silent go? Oh yeah. Because yeah. Okay, so this is my report for the silent. I think that you'll have a great time in it, because the people that support you, like you have a lot of believers, and the people that be sharing scriptures, like you'll find out that the silent live stream is a great place to have studies. Like we can go up in there and have Bible studies. This is what I found out, Eric B. I feel like I went about 10 o'clock Pacific time, which means Las Vegas time. It was about 10 o'clock here. So I feel like the first, so Eric B. So I had like a little video, then I had like a little talking, then like a little something, like a video. It was just, it was like 3 minutes or something, but it still had some silence on it. But what it would do was just talk about what it was the silent live stream project. But because I have a little bit of AI on it, I was like, well, it's still up. The live stream is still up. But if people want to see what I'm talking about, but I took it down because it was just looping. But anyway, so 40 minutes in or something like that, I decided to take the music, not the music, but the loop. I decided to take that off. And when I did that, man, it's that peace, man, that silence, man. Like that's what it is for me, man. Like I'm gonna be doing the silent a lot now. You have to just stop by and check it out one day, you know what I mean? See if you like it. If you like that, you know what I mean, you might want to go get you one, but we'll see in the future. And then I gotta say something to Novi, man. Novi, I should have said something right when I started, but I've been all over the place. But what you said, I did. Oh, you came through? Oh, my fault. Yeah, we was up in the chilling, man. Frank woke up early, man. He said he was getting ready to go read, do some stuff. Like, what you reading? He shared it in the chat. You know what I mean? We put the scripture out there. We start chopping it up, having a little conversation and whatnot. But it was just to keep the thing going and kind of to just experiment and see how was it gonna work. But I think even after this, you know what I mean? Like I think I'm gonna keep me a silent. Like, man, I'm walking around talking everywhere. I have my feet kicked up. I'm talking about I'm all over the place. I'm working here on the computer. I'm working over there. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. I'm going to get me something to eat. I'm talking about, man, I was able to do everything on the live show. I'm like, man, if I get comfortable doing this, I might just be doing this a lot. Trip making me sound like I'm not his brother. What you mean? What happened? I ain't said nothing. I'm hungry though. I do know that, man. I'm starving, man. What y'all gonna eat tonight, man? Like, serious, I need something to cook. Look, I don't go out and eat at all no more, man. Can't afford it, man. Shucks. Hey, but Eric B, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Even though this video is kind of long, if you go back, I shared part of my testimony. I think this one gonna be kind of good to kind of like go back. It's probably some emotional parts to it, just because like I had to dig on this one. And I really don't have to share the stuff that I'll be sharing, but I feel like somebody might deal with it. Like, if you've ever known anybody considers themselves an introvert, or they don't even consider themselves an introvert, or just dealing with depression or dealing with isolation, just dealing with some type of sickness or some type of tragedy or some type of something that held them back, and I kind of got on this record and was able to use that because of a guy that I had met through BDBGP. His name is Cash Stash, and he had a good video. And the question was, when you are feeling like an introvert, are you mostly creative at that time, or do you feel like you're not as creative at that time? And it helped me dig deep to kind of feel like, you know and I could share it in the chat. I do believe, just because, I should be able to, is what I'm saying. Oh, no, I'm not on my other phone. Oh, no, I have to go through a lot. Wait, let's see. um but what you mean, what you mean, man? I act like you ain't my brother. But yeah, man, you got to check out that. You got to check out the silent. See if you like that. It's not bad. All right, this is the video right here. I'm about to drop that joint up in here right quick, because actually, I feel like that's a channel that I actually can go over there and watch some more. Um, the content was actually good, man. I ain't gonna front. So I'm gonna put it in the chat just because I felt that. I did. And the introvert thing is just something I never really considered myself, to have, or to be a part of. But when I went through that process of getting to know the Lord Jesus Christ and giving myself to Him at that time, I feel like I feel like I I feel like I was consecrated and introverted. Can you say introverted at the time? Until I got converted, you know what I mean? And then it was a different thing. But uh, but this is what that I put in the chat right here. This is where I got my just my thinking from today. You know, and some of the vibes and my ideas came from this particular video of me. This was the video that actually pulled me into his channel. Was this right here? And I haven't had a chance to go deeper into more, but I believe that the content is gonna be good enough. And I feel like it's gonna be something I could watch when I'm having one of those days. Because I have learned how to identify it when I'm going through something like that. Um, but like I told people, if you are going through like any type of depression, um, if you're looking for a way out, if you have passions, follow your passions, follow anything you could do to help you escape, because what it is you're holding in a bunch of feelings, you're holding in a bunch of it could be trauma, whatever it is, you know what I mean? But you're holding that in. It could be anger, could be pain, it could be hurt, it could be a lot of things, you know what I mean? But when you are able to use your passion and you look past what's hurting on the inside, you are able to actually find what you identify with. And when you find people like this particular content creator I put up in there, you're gonna find something in his story that you'll relate to in your story. And I just would tell people that you can get over depression when you find something you can escape with. I can remember when you would say, I'm not ready uh, to talk about it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I feel like okay, so I did let a lot out on this live stream, but I will say that I was going through another period when I met you. You know what I'm saying? Where I just feel like I wasn't where God wanted me. I ain't gonna say I wasn't a man of God. I was always a man of God. Like God anointed me a long time ago. Um, but to walk in that anointings is a different story. You know what I mean? I've always been a prodigal son. The one out of the 99 that the shepherd got to go get. He got to go get me. I'm over there in the mud. I'm playing too much. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm gonna walk away again if you don't break my legs. And put me over your shoulder. I'm gonna crawl away. That's just how serious it is for me. Like that world out there. You know what I mean? Like I had a chance to taste it at a young age. It's stuff I like and stuff I don't. You know what I mean? But the stuff I like, to be addicted to more, you try to go get some more of that. You know what I mean? Boy, I try to stay away from that because it could draw me back. And I felt like I was at a point in my life where stuff was drawing me back. And to talk the Lord or to talk about a testimony or to minister, you know what I'm saying? Like I always found it hard to minister when I'm going through the hardest parts of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't tell you to take communion. You know what I'm saying? If you facing domination, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got no business touching that. You know what I mean? Like you gonna be cursed. I'm one of them people. Like I ain't getting ready to touch it. I know I done been tripping this weekend. Been out the club, hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Had a couple of drinks, ended up somewhere, and then still going to church. That's y'all, not me. I'm just saying. I use it as an example. You ain't never been to church the day after you been to the club? Yo, when I was talking about that job, I used to go to work, boy, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Boy, I'm telling you, the raw was cracking out here on a Thursday night. And because I had to work on Friday morning, I would go to the club and then I would take my work clothes with me and go to the work in the morning. Because the club wasn't going to close till about 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? I ain't had to be to work till 5. I'm going to work smelling like liquor and some more stuff. Look, I'm so serious. I was smelling like liquor. The one day I went to the club, I was kicking it too, because my brother was a DJ on the Thursday night, and it was popping. So I go to the Raw, boy. I kick it all night, boy. I'm talking about. I used to see all kinds of famous people up in the Raw that my brother was DJing at. Like I seen MC Hammer, I seen Floyd Mayweather. I see a whole bunch of people. I'm talking about Marcus Banks. I'm talking about there's a bunch of them. You know what I mean? And I'm up in the chilling, boy. Like I'm somebody in the club. Like they thought I was. They thought I was. I'm the little brother, so I know all the bouncers. I know the VIP. I'm walking up in there chilling. I'm somebody. And then I'm going to work. Well, one day. I'm talking about I came straight from the club to work, you know what I mean? And because I had got okay, so where I'm at, 214. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell the full story because it's this live stream where I could do that. So I told y'all I end up having to file a grievance. I had to go talk with HR, human resource, and um, the union represented me. You know what I mean? Like we was ready to take it to arbitration. It was just a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like they was being prejudiced to me. You know, and then it was guys that would step up and actually witness for me. You know what I mean? Like it was some of them that was turning against the dude that was doing it. You know what I mean? Like they all turned against it. So they felt like they was gonna use my story as the way out and the way to get rid of them, even though they was using me. I said, all right, this is the truth. So anyway, the reason why I filed grievance was because I was working there for like 3 or 4 years, and then I felt like when the position would come up and open up for me to move up, you know what I'm saying? Like they would pass over me and they would give it to somebody of their color, you know, and it used to hurt because I was there. I had the seniority, like they couldn't do that. And I knew that they couldn't do that, you know what I mean? With the rules of the union, I could fight that, you know, and they would have to pay me back every dime and give me my position. Well, because I always left it in God's hands, you know what I mean? Like I felt like I was always losing. Like, man, Lord, when you gonna do something about this? When you gonna do something about that? Like they doing this to me. Do you see this, Lord? Well, it so happened that they did it twice. And the third time I said, I ain't gonna let them do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to the union. I talked to my see, I couldn't go to the union steward at the time because the union steward was cool with the the foreman, and the foreman was cool with the department of the whole maintenance department. So what we call that union steward is a scab when they are on both sides of corporate and with the union. You know what I mean? Like they the snakes. So anyway, I couldn't go to him and tell him what was going on because he would go straight to the boss and tell him. So I went to the union. I mean, HR took care of all that, and then I got laid off again. That's what happened. I got laid off. You know, they found a way to lay me off, and I was laid off like this time for like 3 months or something like that. But even though I didn't get the rears of the money that they owed me from laying me off and other people working and stuff like that, they couldn't pass up on me and my promotion. You know, so when I was telling y'all, I walking around with the white shirt and the gold badge, and I'm in the maintenance department, and I'm only 24, 25, 26 years old, 27 years old, 28 years old. You know what I mean? I'm young. I'm walking around as a supervisor. I'm a foreman of the window washers. I became a window washer. So I was a supervisor before I left and got into an accident on my way home, and it changed my life. I was working that job. Well, I never want to take life for granted because I never thought about what life would be like not as an able body, you know what I mean? And after back surgery, what it did to me. Well, I just wanted to just say that when they gave me that job and I got the supervisor position, I came from the bottom all the way to the top. And then those people that were against me that became my enemies, like they turned around and tried to be my friend. Like once I became management or supervisor, foreman, you know what I'm saying? Like God turned them people around to love me. You know what I'm saying? Even though they hated me so much, they had to show me the love. And I'm talking about they would have meetings and stuff like that. I'll be up in the meeting just chilling. You know what I mean? Like people looked at me differently. It was just a lot of stuff I faced with that. Well, let me just skip ahead to my story about me going to the club. Well, when everybody would take their break in the helps hall, that's what they call the helps hall, where you can actually go in there and they have a whole buffet set up for you. You just go ahead and just make your plate and just sit down. Well, I made my plate, sat down, you know, but I never tried to sit around like them, like the crowd of the all of the maintenance department and stuff. I would go sit over the other part because they would be sitting and smoking. I would go sit non-smoking and I'd just be chilling over there. But this particular day, I was tipsy at work. Boy, I'm talking about when I talk about tipsy, I'm talking about I had just woke up. I just woke up because one of the dudes that was working with me, you know what I'm saying? Like he could have told on me because I was up there knocked out. I ain't gonna lie. And I know I was smelling like liquor. Well, well, he he never said nothing. He used to leave and take breaks and all the rest of that too. But we used to go, since we used to wash windows, we would go in the rooms of the hotel and we just chill up in the room. Like they wouldn't know we were washing windows or not. You know, I know that's wrong. And we would wash the windows sometime. But when I was supervisor, I didn't care. I didn't care. Yep, we were marking everything. Like we did it. Yeah. I'm sorry. It wasn't like that. But anyway, I went to the house hall, made my plate, you know what I mean? And I decided this time I'm gonna sit over here and smoking, like, you know what I mean? Like I already know I was sitting up there looking like I was drinking, you know what I mean, all the rest of that. But I sat over there and I ate, you know what I mean? And because I wasn't even supposed to be on break, I'm up in there with the rest of them when they on break. Like usually my break would be like an hour and a half before them. I'd be up in there and out of there. But for some particular reason, I think I was busy that day or something. But I just woke up. I think that's what it was. Man, I finished eating my food and I'm ready. I'm ready to go take my plate to the garbage, you know what I'm saying, to rake my plate off and put it up in the little dish rack. But man, I had to walk past all of the bosses and all of the maintenance department that was sitting right there. And I'm like walking, I'm holding my plate. And I don't know how my clumsy ass, somehow, some way, it seemed like I tripped or something. I don't know. And I just fumbled and the plate just said, ah, it just, oh man, it was so loud, glass everywhere, food everywhere, and I'm half drunk, just came from the club, just woke up on break, an unauthorized break. I'm like, oh shit. I'll sit up here trying to clean this up. I'm looking at the head dude. He's looking at me. He's looking at me, basically giving me the vision test. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he faded? Is he faded? But I thought the dude that was my partner, he was gonna tell on me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brian. I'm glad you never tell. You know what I mean? Like Jeff, I knew you wouldn't have never told. You know what I mean? But Brian, man, I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's just just something that happened to me. You know, but I got a chance to share with y'all. You know, just me. You know, and my process, like it's always been a journey, and that's what I want to get to telling people. Like it's always been a journey. It's never been easy. You know, you may lose some speed on your journey. You may get pulled back a couple times. You may have to quit a couple times. Whatever. But man, your journey start from the day you give your life to Jesus Christ, and you walk it out, and you're gonna come across all kinds of stuff throughout your journey. And one day somebody said to me, why do Christians go through more than people that don't believe? It's because their faith is being tested. Your faith is being tested because each one of us got a measure of faith. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a strong measure of faith, it's going to be tested by the enemy for you to lose that faith. God said all you need is a mustard seed of faith. Just a mustard seed. I don't know if you've ever seen a weed seed. Like you ever pluck the weed seed as you roll the blunt. That's all the faith that you need. And a weed seed is even bigger than a mustard seed. So you know that's just a little bit of faith. That's all you need is a little faith. And you'll be able to create what it is you want. You can have anything you want. The Bible tells us that we can have anything that we want if we say it in his name. Mark 11:24, somewhere in there. You know, I said the other day, like 2 or 3. I mean, I meant 2 or 3, you know what I mean? But I think I was reading the chat and it said 3, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, 3. But it is 2 or 3 from what I understand. I just wanted to correct myself on that just because when 2 or 3 are gathered together in his for his name's sake, there he is in the midst. All we gotta do is talk about the Lord. You know what I mean? He's gonna be right here in the midst of us. You know, You ain't never been able to be around a person that has that type of presence, that you just say his name and it's just me and you here, that God can come and join us. Excuse me, the Son of God can come and join us. And for people that have a problem with that, um, God has given him authority on earth, as he has in heaven. But the thing about it is, speaking about the Son, I want to speak about the Son, and speaking about the Father, I want to speak about the Father. But I could tell you, God is real, and I want people to know that in the end, that I've had a chance to taste and see and find out how it really is, and now that I have seen how it really is, um, I want to go out there and find my purpose and walk in it, you know what I mean? Because I'm seeing that my testimony is something that somebody can use out of it. I don't know if you've ever dealt with depression. I don't know if you've ever dealt with anger. I don't know if you've ever dealt with anything that comes with it. There's something that always comes with those things that we are addicted to. There's always another spirit that's involved with that, and I could just tell you, if you take the time to spend with God and you just get to know him and you turn off all the surrounding stuff that distracts you, you will be able to be in the presence of God, and God will show himself to be real. Ask him, Lord, show me that you're real. Take these things from me. It's certain things you probably ain't gonna ever be able to do on your own, but you can go to him about it and say, take these things from me. When I had back surgery, I was one of the people, I didn't want to depend on medication. You know what I mean? But it was a lot of pain, and I started feeling like that. I don't want to depend on it. And it felt like I was dependent on it because I needed the nerve um damage pains that they was giving me. I don't know if it's a nerve damage pain, but the pain pills they was giving me for my nerve damage, plus the muscle relaxer and the regular pain pill. I was saying to myself, I used to have to take that. Like, I ain't want to take that every day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to depend on it. Well, it got to a point where I didn't know how I was gonna live without it. And the hardest thing that I thought would have to stop was the easiest thing. Like, God took that from me. It wasn't no withdrawals. It wasn't no none of that stuff. And it wasn't even like I was addicted to it. I just needed it. I felt like I needed it. But my God is a healer. He'll comfort you in the time of needs. He'll encourage you and uplift you. He'll give you power. He'll give you strength. He'll give you everything that I've never seen man give, and I've never seen any other religion give. But what God has given me, freedom, freedom. For who the man, who what is it? For whom the sun sets free is free indeed. So I've been free. You know what I mean? I'm just like that dog that's been in that kennel. He gets so used to being in the kennel that when you open the door and you let him out the kennel, he'll stay right there in the kennel, knowing that there's a door open for him to go. He'd rather stay right there. That's home to him. That's where he's comfortable at. You know, that's how I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like that dog. Sometimes you are isolated, you're consecrated, you're introvert. You just don't feel like dealing with none today. Like that. That's a part of the depression. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what it's like to be behind a wall, behind a gate. You know what I mean? That I can't speak for the next man that may be institutionalized, but there's such thing of it, is what I'm saying. So anyway, I've been doing a lot of talking, and boy, I don't know how I did this today, but I will not be doing another live stream. This is a 3-hour one, man. I was thinking about, man, I'm gonna stop this, come back, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back with a silent live stream. Y'all think I'm playing about these silent live streams, man? I'm glad I get a chance to come out here and just be me, because I try to use that same concept when I speak that my mom and my uncle used when it came down to me going to church. You don't have to go and understand everything or believe everything, but go because you might just hear something. So when people check in, I appreciate y'all because I don't know what the dialogue is we're speaking about or we're interacting about. But in the end, what I do know about, you might hear something. And if that thing that you hear can bless you, save you, heal you, deliver you, whatever it does, if it gives you the curiosity to go find God for yourself, that's what it's about. You can't go off somebody else's relationship. You got to have a relationship with him yourself. So if you can find it in your heart to say something to him, he knocks at the door for each of us that have never had a relationship with him. And I just want to make sure that I say that. And if you have a relationship with him, treat him like he's somebody. You know what I mean? A real person. You know, he ain't no fairy tale. He ain't no story. You know, this a person that got real feeling, real emotion. He's an artist. He's a creator. He created us. We are a walking image of God in his creation. And that is beautiful to me. But in the end, I will say this. I'm about to go get me something to eat. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? And God willingly, I'm going to try to come back and do something soon. But I really have been working. And as long as y'all see that I've been trying to put in some type of work, you know, hopefully you guys will just kind of be a blessing and see the blessing. You know what I mean? Just be a blessing and be here. That's enough for me. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, man. God bless you, man. Y'all stay out of trouble, out of harm's way. May you all have peace and prosperity. You know, may us all be saved and call on his name anytime in the time of need. Make sure you call his name. He said, those that call his name shall be saved. God bless you, man. I appreciate you.
I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Welcome to the Tribulation Kids Network. Let's get out here and network and meet somebody.